Howdy, folks. Welcome to Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening, and joining me are my friends, Matt, Vincent, Alana, Hannah, and Kara. I know, it was the last minute switch got me. I actually practiced once, which is more than I practiced.
World. Charge your electronics, kids.
Oh yeah, it's a good message brought to you by Kara. We may actually, would you mind tilting the camera just a little bit, just to get Kara a little more captured? A little bit. Pan it the other way. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Bizarro world again.
Yeah, Bizarro world. So we are going to play D&D at some point, but right now, a couple of quick announcements. We played Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign last night. Kara didn't, but the rest of us did. And it was a quick trip through the drift, though there was a hitchhiker, and then a arrival at the Eclipse Mall. We have Instagram at AlberonRPG. AlberonRPG.com is our website. There is going to be a break the last week of July and the first week of August. But there will be original one-shots that will be aired. They will not be live. We're going to pre-record them. But one of them will re-air on YouTube each of those weeks. And then finally, for digital sound effects and things like that, we have Sirenscape, which has all kinds of things that you can play. I actually just quickly downloaded some random sound sets so I could have some like little one-shots available. So things like, this says anvil hits. Look at that.
That's a
real
That's
anvil
really
hit.
ominous.
Resonating.
Yeah. Or this is horror hit. I accidentally double pressed it. Check that out. So Sirenscape. Oh, this one says Peaches. I have to play that. Look at that.
Peaches is a little cool.
So for Peaches and other sound effects, you can have Sirenscape digital tool set that you can use to add music, like our theme song, although not our theme song, and other things to your game. And with that, I will get us into our recap.
I like that Twitch emote, kitten for cuddles.
Yeah,
Where
kitten
do I
for cuddles.
find
Who
that?
are you?
That is my friend.
Oh,
Where do I
hi,
find
Joe's
that?
friend.
Ooh, wait, this is a good response though. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Wandering Hearts. Last that we played. Weird energy tonight. You revisited the mansion, now badly burned, to see that there was any additional information, or an accessible chest perhaps available to your group. Valis spoke to a caterpillar near the bottom of the lower phaseway green belt with mixed results. Ori tried to sneak into the ruins of the burnt out mansion and was unsuccessful, triggering an alarm spell purposefully. Alina dispatched her imp to bring Ori back to the group, to which the imp tried hard to comply. Perhaps a little too hard. When the Lexagi were alerted to Ori's presence by the imp's shouts, Billy intervened and with a silvered tongue and wicked gaze shamed the guards for allowing Ori, clearly sent to test the defenses by Hearsome, in so easily. You all returned to the Wincing Manticore to get some sleep. Alina, you scolded Rez the imp, who seemed to sulk for the evening. But the next morning, you awoke to Hearsome and a bountiful feast laid before you in the sort of bar area of the Wincing Manticore below. After eating, you planned, and it was decided that the Magiocracy of the Rising Storm would be the destination, with all of you bound for the Divine Court beyond. And Hearsome heading to Resinburn in the capital to try and ascertain what the material in this axe was used for. Hearsome did indicate that they were returning to the Feywild first, in the interim, to ascertain the locations of artifact items that might aid you should this danger arise further. Hearsome took his leave, and you all traveled out of the spire, with a quick stop at the candy store, with Valis receiving a slightly magical treat. You left the spire, led by Billy, from the safety, and stumbled your way down to the hillside that it rises from, towards danger that almost certainly awaits you in the massive freshwater lake Tarkano. You made it to the edge of the Volbrin camp closer to noon and found the camp abustle with activity. You met Dimes, a halfling, approaching to apologize that the larger ships were out of service. However, luckily for them, all of you specialized in the dangerous creatures that seem to plague this little fishing community. You offered to join them on their hunt in exchange for passage, and as you crossed over the beach to the Dragonborn leader of this fishing crew, that is where we begin this evening. Give me one moment here.
Can so many fish. Or just one really big fish. Which I would argue can count as
Or
so
a
many
fish.
fish.
One
It's
very
more
big
about-
fish that duplicates
fish is many.
every round into multiple
Like
very big
I am
fish.
I am fish.
Hear me roar. So you all across this beach, and to your left, you can see this huge lake. And really, from this vantage point, it is no different than an ocean. It is a horizon of blue, and the occasional kind of bird that crosses off in the distance. But in front of you, there is this dragonborn, close to 7 feet tall, crisp silver scales, though the face does have a significant amount of scarring down the side. Give me 1 second here. As you cross over, he sort of peers at all of you, and you can see this halfling with pale skin and dark hair crosses over, and before he takes a few more steps, stops and just says, "Let me speak to him first." And he just across the sand. Is there anything that you're doing before you are introduced to this person?
Just kind of gazing over the water.
Okay.
I'm gonna telepathically say to Rez, these people probably have never met an imp before, so best to stay hidden and quiet.
You just feel like a little squeeze on your shoulder. Being very quiet is the sin. No problem.
I mean, you know that telepathy is okay. Great job.
Feel
bud.
another little squeeze. So no problem. You stand there for a second, and before too long, the Dragonborn makes his way over to you. Crossing over, he says, "So I hear you're all here to help us with this crossing. Mm-hmm. Much appreciated. You're a Hearsom's group."
That's right.
Flash my badge.
Looking at the badge, hang on 1 second here. He would say, the fiddler and the fae. I'll say this, he knows how to send somebody to their deaths. He'll do well. Come on. And he turns and leads you over towards these ships. Are you following?
Yes.
Over his shoulder, he says, it's not all dangerous. There are these beautiful golden trout that make for excellent fishing, but the catfish, and and he turns and just says, you all do know what you're getting yourselves into.
People keep saying that to us. Just in general. Yes.
So where is it specifically you're trying to go?
We're headed northwest towards the Divine Court.
But specifically.
The Divine Court.
Hang on. He reaches into his bag.
We thought it was a location. Oh no.
I thought it was a location.
And he pulls out a map.
Ready to Volburn.
And he tosses it out there, and he says, there are many ways we could land there. We could go through Prosnap Bay, but of course, that is treacherous. I would recommend sailing straight across and landing a little bit further on the western bank.
If that's your recommendation, just want to look at the map real quick. Oh gosh.
Well, that's not the map. That's just a beach.
There's a picture of a mean snake in here.
No.
There's so many things to add to my map.
Because presumably I've traveled across at least once.
So
yeah, you could have if that's the way that you would have wanted to do.
Well, would I remember anything about the crossing?
So he's
Make a history check.
over here.
Given that you would have gone across, probably not in a super reputable way, you would have just taken a regular passage across. I would say you would have gone along the northern bank of this place, staying as close as you could to the shore, and several times probably leaving the water, rather than facing the kind of danger that would be present there.
Okay.
And so, especially passing with a fisherman or a trader, you wouldn't have really experienced a lot of the danger purposefully, and it would have been a long trip.
Yeah.
That is
makes
also
sense.
a beautiful map.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the regional maps. The regional maps have a lot more detail on them.
I got sidetracked just looking at how beautiful it is.
So I like to say, I know a lot about the fish in the lake, but how specifically can we help you? Because we were speaking to someone earlier and you were looking for help, and I'm not sure how we can help.
He gestures. Can I see the map real quick? Well, if you're looking to go to the western side, that means that you could help us out by either helping us clear the Dark Lagoon, or we could put you much closer on the barren beach. The dangers are a bit more substantial there.
How substantial can it be?
He looks and he smiles, and all around, like, there's only 4 or 5 people who are getting things ready, but you can hear like a few laughs. And he turns and he says, there are creatures here bigger than all of our ships combined. Quite treacherous. But if you would prefer to go south and walk further around the lake, it is a safer journey.
How long would it take if we went south and then looped up around by foot? Like, how many more days are we adding here?
He says, well, at that point, you might as well walk all the way around. 3, perhaps.
What specifically do you need clearing from the barren beach?
There is.
Is it the catfish?
We don't want to run into the catfish.
Oh.
If that happens, we turn back.
Oh.
There are many things that I will tempt fate for, but I've seen too many die to that fish. We go for the Widowmaker arowana. We've seen the globe. We know that's what's causing this issue. Kill that, we calm this water, and we can fish again. And you can make your way directly to the Divine Court, provided you are all comfortable going through the Fields of Folly.
Fields of what now?
Fields of Folly.
Oh, no, I heard you. This is Alina being like, excuse me?
He would say the Fields of Folly, where the Dark One was finally quelled. That's where most of the battles took place. Very little grows there.
What makes them dangerous now? Sounds like, yeah, it's a historical
Is it cursed?
site.
Some say that too. I don't know what it is, but when you sail by the north, you can see shadows in the trees and nothing to cast them.
A ghost.
Barren Beach? Barren Beach? Barren Beach?
I mean,
Barren Beach?
Yeah, why not?
it's gonna be dangerous no matter what we do.
Yeah, and it sounds like we can really help the local economy if we clear the...
Or do
Fishing is
you...
really lovely around here. It'd be a shame if they couldn't fish here anymore. So
Is your staff out?
It's on my back.
Okay. I think probably as you're having this discussion, he would turn and just say,
I'm like just looking out over the ocean, the lake again. Still,
why don't you just take Magiocracy Passage?
Excuse me?
He turns and just gestures at Ori.
it's not an option.
Oh. Well, if this is something that will get us in trouble with the Magiocracy, we may need to reconsider the terms of this deal.
It's no danger, just trying to keep that affiliation more discreet.
Inside check. Alina is like...
You watch, this Dragonborn holds this heavy, scaled arm out and points at the staff, and he just says, there's nothing discreet about that.
21.
I got a 5.
That isn't wood that grows around here.
12.
With a 25, 21.
Yeah.
Nothing that Ori has said is necessarily false. There is, Ori right now is a dam that is holding back a flood of withheld information. Certainly. Ori seems legit.
I've got reasons to not want to go back to. Oh, makes pretty sense.
Yeah, no, that's... I feel like we all get it.
Yeah.
Curious.
Is the beetle train anywhere over there? I've seen it from a distance. I've never seen, where it starts and stops.
That's significantly further north. I've never been that far.
Okay.
But there's been talk about expanding it, I've heard.
Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, well, that's out then. We do have some options, and I think, considering how things went last time, the faster might be better. At least it'll give us more buffer in case.
What happened last time?
Nothing.
Oh,
Make a deception check.
I genuinely don't know which thing Alana is.
I know, but it's clearly a lot of things going on.
I know. Deception. I'm
Could have been the time we got ambushed.
22.
All right.
It.
He turns and starts listening to me again.
Yeah.
yeah. And plus, we know how upset Hirsim got us last time for taking so long, so.
For taking long enough that we got back on the day he asked us to get back.
You won't need to worry about speed. We'll help you with that. But you are all capable of fighting, correct?
Yes.
Of course.
His gaze mostly settles on you.
She's very useful.
She can heal.
Oh, well, okay. With that, he'll say, ah.
Oh no.
Billy still fully blames Ori for her death.
And she brought Alina back from the dead, like the literal dead, so, she's softened.
She's very useful.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that you need to prepare before we go?
Oh, we got a wheel.
How do we find the arowana?
It's got the.
Above the water, there will be a glowing orb.
Literally doing this.
You can see as he's talking, he's just like, when you see it, it's important that you don't look at it. It has a way of mesmerizing. And it can be tricky with it as well.
So are we all going together in a ship?
He turns, and you can see the ships are all relatively small. You have all taken like a real sailing ship before. These are probably meant for day trips. These are 15 feet long, not very large.
Are we taking party barges?
So these are very much, so this is a freshwater lake. There are not huge waves, and so these are very flat. They are not meant for the ocean. They are not party barges. These are certainly...
River pontoons.
Yes, exactly that. They are very much river pontoons.
I mean, if you just take alcohol on it, it's a party barge.
I mean, every barge is a party barge if you party hard enough. Okay, but just so the plan, we have to be in a boat. Are we all going, or?
Well, you all want to go.
Yeah.
We'll go get the arowana and drop you off after.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You said it can be tricky with this glowing orb thing. Have you seen it?
There are parts of this lake where the rocks underneath create square waves. And when you see those, there are times where this arowana will use that lure. And you can't quite tell what direction it's coming from. When you see those square waves, a whirlpool almost always develops after. And so that is something else to be on the lookout for. These ships will not survive the whirlpool. Probably.
That's good to know.
So, are you all ready?
I think so. Is there anything that you recommend that we do to prepare specifically?
Well, you're a healer. Do you need to prepare anything?
I guess that depends on how much time we have to prepare. I mean,
We will be ready in 10 minutes.
okay.
May I request, do you have a weapon better suited for aquatic combat? Perhaps a trident or a longer spear or anything than a sword?
We've got spears.
Okay. Can I get some of the spears?
Absolutely.
And also, can I borrow a block and tackle for fishing? I do enjoy fishing these waters.
Make a persuasion check.
You're asking a fisherman.
He turns and he just goes,
15.
"Gotta have dimes, get this man a, what was the first thing that you asked for? It was
Spear.
a spear. Get this man
Yes,
two
for
spears.
plural. Yeah.
And I believe we wanted one of the specific boats and fisherman captains.
Oh yeah. That Dimes fella seems pretty capable.
Respectfully, he's You can see Dimes is like trying to listen in, and he goes, "Dimes, can you go get block and tackle, actually?" And you see Dimes like resentfully turns and goes, but he says, "Look, Dimes isn't very good at this, so I would recommend not. If you are really going to insist on this, of course you can. And it would be helpful to have 4 ships in the water instead of 3, provided it's repaired suitably from the last time."
The last time.
Yes, making our way off the beach is rather difficult, and so you will need to be actively participating if you're going to be aboard.
I don't want to actively participate.
I think we might have to.
Okay.
Ori,
What's up?
Ori, do you know how to sail?
Do you want me to give you a moment?
What do we need to do to
Fishing.
push off?
That's what you're asking.
He turns and pulling out, like, Dimes comes and like gives Valis one spear, and when he's about to hand the other spear over, the Dragonborn takes it out of his hand and like uses it to point across the water. And following that, you can see there is elements of what looks like maybe stone or something that comes up very close to the surface in areas. And so looking at these ships, and there are these like poles on them, you will probably need to help make sure they don't get dashed on these rocks on the way out. There aren't huge waves here, but there's enough to push back and forth, and all you really need to do is get snagged on it for it to cause a problem.
what?
Sounds easy enough.
All right, fine.
Okay. We're gonna need a couple minutes. We'll meet you at your ship.
Very well. He turns and then just says, give me 1 second. So let me go grab the ships, because you will have to figure out how you want to distribute these. Ugh.
Oh, heck yeah. So it's time for maritime strategy.
Are you pushing for Dimes to join you?
I think so. Oh no.
Billy's a callous bitch.
I'm not sure.
I feel like we kind of just need to,
Ori's lost in thought.
Or he's having a moment.
Or is shooting like a 1990s music video. Dido's playing in the background.
Oh, I was thinking you remind me about how I really am.
oh no.
So I feel like
And this is how.
if the issue with not Dimes is that we can't understand the other guy because he's missing a jaw,
I think the issue with not Dimes is that we'll have fewer ships.
which means that we'll have more ships with Dimes.
So you can see these
Meaning
ships.
more people.
There is that ship with the purple sail, which is, and just to be clear, they're not quite rafts, but they're about the same size, and they do have small sides, but they really aren't meant for like huge waves. So our raft is roughly like the durability that this thing has, for what it's worth. But
Not durable.
yeah, does anybody speak Draconic?
I don't think so.
Okay. So there's one ship with a bunch of Draconic on it, which you would imagine as like Vol goes over to like get stuff ready on it is probably his. You can see another one. This one seems to have like a human on it, tall, skinny, droopy nose, dark hair that's pulled back in a ponytail. His eyes are kind of dreamy. He's just kind of staring out at the water. And then you can see that one actually is in common, the Serpent Bane. And then you can see there's a half-elf, and you have been told about this individual. They're shirtless. They have a huge axe scar that actually seems to have caved in their sternum, and at some point it has healed over, but their whole chest is like concave still. You can also see they are missing most of their lower jaw, and they're balding a little bit too. They're not like the most graceful looking individual. And then finally, Dimes has returned to their ship, which is called Dances on Water. And there's a lot of fresh wood that has not been finished. It's clearly been very recently repaired.
Does it look like seaworthy?
Yeah, sure. I mean, make a
Let me make a check at least.
how much do you know about,
Yeah,
do you have any kind of proficiency in water vehicles?
Alina has probably never even seen the sea.
Make an intelligence check.
Like flat.
Yeah.
You have.
You have.
Oh, right.
You've been on it. You've been under it.
Outside of that one.
Yeah.
That one more recent time.
Limited.
I remember that time when we sailed on the ocean.
She's trying to block
Apparently
it all out,
not.
honestly. Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20? Yeah. I mean, you don't see anything that looks like it would like spring a leak. And though it is like fresh wood and everything, there's not like a varnish on it. That's just for show, probably.
Okay. All right, I guess we're doing this.
So,
Are we
You
splitting?
can add a block and tackle to your inventory, by the way. Dimes brings that back for you.
Are we splitting up amongst the ships? Like, I don't think there's enough room on one for all of
Mika
us.
kind of like tries to gather one together really quick and goes, so we have small potential issue. Oh no, okay. I accidentally, I prepared to go look at a mansion today, not fight a big fish. So I'm a little light on the,
You gotta lean a little more this direction.
healing spells. So I would prefer you all not to die today.
What does a little light mean? You have healing spells?
You have any?
One.
Is it the good one?
Oh, fuck.
How about you, Healy Boy? You got healing spells?
Always.
Vincent looks over.
You got one too, right?
Yeah.
Is Cheshire around?
You look around, and as far as you can tell, for the first time, no.
There is, like, Billy's just, like, playing in her head, like, make another
It's catchy, yeah. It's,
we don't.
so catchy. I
We don't want to wait a full day.
No,
do we?
I wanted
think
to
we
bring it up.
can.
The only other thing we have is that the healing potions we made before. I have enough to make more, but that's still gonna take time.
Well, don't die.
We'll try not to die.
Okay. All right. I'll.
so the planning complete.
Yeah.
So are we all going on the same boat?
Oh yeah. How many like
'Cause
people can fit? On
they're small.
So you could, in theory, like clown car everybody into one if you really wanted. There'd be no room to move or maneuver, and should that ship go down, you'll be in some trouble.
I do not wish to clown car.
But yeah, it's really up to you. I would say, looking at those, you probably want to limit each one to 2 or 3 people.
Billy, like, turns away from the group and kind of makes her way over to Dimes.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way over to Dimes. He's just tying things off and like getting things ready.
I'm gonna follow Billy.
Okay.
Always, like a puppy.
Sure.
So what happened?
What do you mean?
They obviously don't want you to go along. You had to ask us to ask them. Your boat's got some fresh wood here.
I just like to keep it really nice, you know?
Uh-huh. Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Can I make one too?
He's like slowly standing like more and more in front of it as much as he can. He's a halfling.
That's okay, cause I got you, fam. 21.
Billy, hard to tell, you squint, but Alina, you look and like he's very much, because Billy is the one engaging, he's trying to like cover this from Billy's view, and so from like a little off to the side, you're just seeing like fresh wood. There's like a couple nails that are still like a little off at angles and things. This new environment's tough for you. Huh?
Switch. Oh, it's a problem. Do you still have the sticker I gave you that says crying as a free action?
Yes.
Because feel free to play it anytime. Alina's gonna like nudge Billy and be like, no.
Okay. And he looks and he kind of points with his little finger out into the water, and he like points at the exact same kind of reef situation, and he just says, "They're a lot sharper than they look, and I like going fast. And I tried to leave before everybody else because I wanted to catch more fish, and
You crashed on the reef.
I didn't have anybody to help me, and I will this time." Nobody wants to sail with me because this keeps happening, but if I had somebody who would do the helping part, then I wouldn't keep crashing.
If you come with us, you're gonna have to keep pace with everyone else.
Oh, that's easy. They'll have to keep
Nope.
pace with me.
They're gonna set the pace. And you'll have to keep pace with everyone else.
Okay.
Unless you want to face the Widowmaker alone.
With your insight check, there is a little bit of excitement to that, but he like tamps it down. You get the sense that he understands. Even he gets the sense that that's like it's definitely not a good idea, but like it would be pretty cool though. But he kind of like
the one to capture.
yeah, he tamps it exactly. That's exactly what's going on in his brain. 1,000%. This is a dude who like really doesn't have a lot of experience sailing.
Always.
Heard this story and like this is his dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy kind of feels a little like elbowing from Alina when she says the whole if you want to do it alone. Which, of course, is a stupid idea. But if you want a chance of being the one to get it, it helps to have backup.
Yeah, like we'll come with you on your ship, but not if you're gonna get us killed.
And also, we can't all fit on this one thing, so if you could point out who is more amenable and easy to work with so that the others can kind of go with whom they will.
Oh, you want to work with Alwit because he'll do whatever you say.
Alwit is the guy who can't talk.
You turn and you look, and he's got like a little bit of like his eyes are a little glassy. He's staring out at the ocean. No, he's not the guy without the jaw.
Oh, it's the
He's just-
drunk.
yeah, essentially.
Billy kind of looks over at Ori up on the hill and is just like, no, he'll need to lead.
I mean,
Alice seems pretty capable.
Palace does seem pretty capable. He might like someone he can boss around.
Yeah.
Cool. How about one that is more of a leader and can like make up for people who are about in their own world and daydreaming all the time?
I mean, you could go with full, probably. You'd have to ask
Gotcha.
him.
Cool. All right, we got it. Okay, we're ready.
Wait, am I going?
Yes.
I'm going with you.
Yes.
Alina, you can go with whomever you want. Minka, you're going with full.
Okay. Minka's gonna look at the ships and see if she can guesstimate if any of them are under roughly 500 pounds.
What?
Billy's gonna kind of like push Ori towards Vol's ship.
Well,
This one's the most capable.
Make an intelligence check. Sorry, I had to do math real quick.
Yep.
And
12.
explain the situation of Alice. It's like,
I mean, it's floating on the
you
water.
be in
It
charge
can't
of
be
your own
that
thing.
heavy.
He'll probably take you to
Right.
the best fishing spots if you ask.
Ah, thank you.
Right, Ori, you and I are going over here. We're gonna be distance people together. Hopefully. Hopefully they don't put us right next to it.
all right. Yeah, let's go.
Everybody clear on the plan?
We're gonna get an arowana. Don't look at the lure. Square waves are bad. Don't hit the rocks.
That's about it.
And keep pace with everyone.
You can see Dimes is just like he's smiling, he's whistling. He goes, "Yeah, no, I heard you. I totally understand." And he just begins to whistle and is like getting everything ready. You can see he's like already trying to shove the ship a little bit closer to the shoreline, but no problem. So,
What's the name of the guy that Alice is going with?
Olwit.
Alwit.
How do you spell that?
Olwit.
Alwit.
Oh, I was going with oil wit.
Nope. So these are each of the individuals. Where did my other fisher guy go? Oh, there he is. Fisher guy. You can place yourself where you want, but this is Vol. This is Dimes. This is Alwit. And then this over here is Bartholomew holding this little sword.
The Lady Woe.
The Lady Woe. Ugh. Give me a second here.
Ori just like sidetracks and heads to the Lady Woe.
The Lady Woe with Bartholomew is the one that is closest to Hannah.
This one.
Yeah.
Is the gentleman without a jaw.
Sorry, which one is Dimes?
Bartholomew.
Half a sternum.
No, Dimes is all the way in the back that we can't
He's the
reach.
little tiny guy.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
As far away from you as he could.
Think,
Is this for me?
Yeah.
You imagine you.
And presumably Cheshire is just this crate or something that's on.
All of those crates.
This is a barrel that just jumps over there.
So I feel like Alina would
On
just
the
say
Lady
to
Woe.
the air, Cheshire, if you're here, pick one of these boats to go on, kill the fish, and don't look at the lights.
Don't go into the light!
You see a seagull go overhead. And maybe that's Cheshire.
Yeah, it might be.
Okay.
Nobody can say that we left her behind because she didn't know the plan.
Well, she can, but it doesn't mean it's true.
It's true. Cheshire might say it, but Tina wouldn't say it.
So you make your way to the shoreline. The various kind of captains that are here, I guess, sort of show you how to grab onto the ropes that are tied around the mast, and then 3-point knots go around the actual elements of the boat itself. You help haul them out, and it's pretty easy to get them into the water. So one by one, you make your way in. One second here. Okay. So Tarkana Lake is a huge freshwater body of water that is clean, cool, and you can see like there are all kinds of little fish, even as you get into the shallows where it's just like dirt and sand and little fallen sticks and leaves. There are like brightly colored fish that dart around, very, very small, up near the surface. There are off a little bit further, and you can see like close to where the rocks poke up out from the water, elements of some kind of like lake grass or something that begins to grow about 50 feet off the actual coast itself. But as you go out, who is with who?
Alina and Billy with dimes, Minka and Ori with Vol, and Valis with Alwit. And Bartholomew, I'm assuming, has a barrel with him.
My money is on if Cheshire is going to pick one, that's probably the one she'll pick.
Fair enough. So no problem. You all make your way onto these ships. You head out and get closer. And give me just 1 second here. And roll for initiative.
And whoa for initiative.
No, we actually have a wheel.
Did you get that? We got the wheel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a wheel whoa for initiative? Oh.
Oh no.
A wool. We got a wool for initiative.
Gotta wear a wool sweater for...
I don't know what this cheer is from Olive, but...
Oh, it's just a little bit cheer.
Oh. Thanks, Olive.
Cheshire's the party barge. Of course. In which case, probably with Olwit, but...
Yeah, that ship is just a bar. That's like mobile bartender. Oh, it's just a bartender.
Oh, we picked the wrong ship.
Yeah.
Dimes, where's your alcohol?
It's in those barrels back there.
Oh no.
Make a persuasion check. So you make your way out onto the water. For those of you... What was that?
A 2 on the die.
I don't really drink.
We're gonna die.
We'll celebrate when we get to the other side.
You make your way further across. As you near this kind of rocky elements, the various captains, and I'll just kind of speak as Vol because it's hard to speak as 5 different people all at the same time. Vol would say to those of you with him, and the rest of you get similar instructions. As we get closer to these rocks, you will all need to use these poles to keep us clear from the sharpest parts. It is unavoidable to hit some. Don't worry, it isn't a failure to hit 1 or 2, but too much more than that, and we might lose a ship. He turns and you can see he looks directly at Dimes, who like probably a good like 50, 60 feet back, definitely can't hear. And so for those of you who are with Dimes, you see Dimes who just looks over and goes, I think we can go faster.
No.
We're gonna follow
Stay at the back.
Course.
But you continue to make your way through. It is windier as you make your way. Is there something you want to do, Minka?
Is there like a big fish you can describe to me or point out to me?
Who are you talking to?
Vol.
Oh, okay. So Vol would just kind of like look and just go, what kind of big fish?
Just one that would just... Minka's just gonna like hold up her arms. Just like a big fish. The only fish I know about is a tiny eel.
So like the arowana.
Yes.
Sure.
Maybe something with a lower.
Make a persuasion check. Make a persuasion
To
check.
put a size rating on these fish.
Some sort of just mount. I can definitely Oh, persuasion. Right, 17.
A 17. So he kind of like turns and looks around, but he says, I guess. He like removes the pauldrons and like the elements of leather armor on the shoulder and the arm, and then not tattooed, but for the dragonborn scales, etched in, and kind of some, not ink, but some element of like pigment perhaps has been put in, and as it like washes away, is taken on like faded, almost watercolor tones across the silver plates. You can see the Widowmaker arowana, this like crimson, dark scaled fish. It has the mouth of almost like an anglerfish with these upswept teeth. The jaw is long, very much like a regular arowana with those two teeth that point out. And it has this like long tongue that's exaggerated in the actual etching itself. On that kind of sleeve as well, there is jumping out of a pond, a little golden trout. It is a very low CR creature, but sparkles in the light and has like a little bit of coloring done to make it really like over the silver to make it really look like a fish.
Did you say it sparkles?
And especially cool with the way that it's etched. Like there are like miniature scales etched into the scale itself, and so it does look pretty cool. So golden trout and Widowmaker arowana.
Okay, so Minka's just going to study them as closely as she can and goes, okay, I'm also, okay, I could probably do that. Thank you.
Are you like an artist?
I could probably do that.
Like pulls everything back.
No. She's gonna kind of like just like wander to like her position next to the pole that she's supposed to interact with.
Yeah, no problem.
Sitting there, like, just passively overhearing this conversation, does it seem like Volbrand would be upset to find a druid on the ship like last time when some folks on the Cat's Paw were a little upset to find?
Make a general insight check. There was one person on the Cat's Paw that had a real bad experience with druids.
It's a 19. Yeah, 19.
No, doesn't seem to be, and nobody's mentioned it here.
Okay.
That seemed to be a very specific instance of somebody having a bad run
I'm just like gazing into the water.
I mean, there are not a ton of druids in the Magiocracy, a lot of sorcerers. So you don't know about the various druid cultures, but there are quite a few different ones, and so there are some communities that are much more favored than others.
Okay.
In the city of Ebenflow, there are a sewer druid collective that wild shape into all kinds of creatures, vermin, stuff. I like that.
Glad we didn't pull that one up.
But all kinds of stuff like that. So hard to tell. But these people they haven't said anything that would give you that indication.
Okay.
So you make your way out and closer to these rapids, and Vol to you says, as you see the white water, take the pull and shove hard. You cannot overpush. He pulls back and he begins to grab onto the sail and pull as hard as he can across, and slowly your ship begins to list off and almost head directly towards this roiling rapid. All the other ships slowly begin to turn as well as they follow Vol. And who is with Vol? Can the two of you make athletics checks to start us off, please?
Oh. I'm so glad we're so beefy.
19.
Such a beefy group.
19, okay.
We're gonna be fine.
4. Very nice. Minka, could you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Yep.
As you get closer to this, or you take the pull and you shove hard, your eyes are able to discern the exact spot where there's no angles, there's no slippery mass, there's none of this algae that is crusted the rock. You're able to hit a spot where the pull sticks and you can shove. For you, Minka, what was that roll?
It was at 12.
Okay. For you, Minka, you see the perfect rock to jab this into, and you're great at rocks. So you jab this pull in.
I don't want to hurt it.
This petrified tree stump just shatters. Your pull goes straight out. You almost fall off into the water, and in fact, you pinwheel just edge over edge. Are you doing anything to stop?
Yeah, can I try to
make a dexterity saving throw, Ori,
Minka?
at disadvantage.
Dex save?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I am trying to save you.
Saving via Dex.
Nice. You said at disadvantage?
Yes.
Just reroll
That bodes
this.
well.
What is
Hey,
going
all right,
on
that's still
tonight?
pretty good. 21.
21. Minka, as your pole leaves your hands, you drop it, it goes into the water, and you watch as it is like bent, and it almost bends in half around the rocks before it disappears. You are about to fall in right between these stones, and Ori just grabs you. But just like, you actually slide down, and as it like catches in your armpits, you are like an inch away from the water.
Ooh. Okay.
You see they spiral out, and like the boat kind of along one of the rocks.
I cast
But they
levitate
go
on the boat.
through. You do? What are you casting?
I cast levitate on the boat.
Phenomenal. So mark off that spell slot as you hear the scrape. What does it look like when you cast levitate?
Minka's sitting on the floor and being pulled back, goes, oh my god! And just like throws her hands down onto the boat, and with it, there's just like a poof of air that just goes out and kind of sparkles a little bit as she tries to lift the boat with that weight, with that air.
This poof of air out across from the northwest, and as it does so, the entire boat rocks, and then you hear the wood just. And then, as it seems like it's almost about to shatter, it's just the boat creaking as it leaves the water, and the weight displaces. And suddenly, for all of you, straight out of Peter Pan, you see this boat just begin to fly. Just a little bit above the water. Every now and then, the waves actually just lap against the bottom, but it just floats straight over top. And you can see, like everybody else now. First of all, give me a second here. Who watches this boat fly? Who is going to replicate that task? Give me 1 second. Okay, so who is aboard the Serpent Bane with all wit? That is,
Me.
Go ahead and make your athletics check. He's going to turn, and I would actually say make the athletics check at disadvantage because you watch this boat fly, he watches this boat fly, he's really watching it for a little bit, and then he looks down and he goes, oh, you probably want to turn. And like gets back and he pulls this, and you look and you are like upon the rapids.
Oh no!
Alright. So the first roll was okay.
Okay.
The second roll was a natural one.
Oh, love to see that.
I can't save you. You're on a different boat. Sorry.
You watch as the very last second, the ship here, all of you kind of taken aback as the ship flies off and into the air. Minka makes a ship fly.
It's
And
a
then-
5 with a natural one.
Nice. And then you watch as Valis does the exact opposite. He slams right into the rock, having no warning whatsoever to turn. And as he scrapes across, you see wood like bend and splinter. Valis, water begins to gush in. As this begins to like leak in and flood, it's not so rapid that you're going to capsize right away, but you feel the boat begin to slow. And if you don't continue to actively bail it out, it will certainly sink at some point, relatively soon.
Okay.
You can see Allwit looks down and he goes, that you're supposed to turn a little faster than that.
You were supposed to give me more warning.
Yeah, fair enough. He turns
Why can't
down.
you both do that?
He says, here, you try this. And he hands you the rope. Go ahead and make, are you proficient in water vehicles?
I am not.
Okay. So,
I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna just bail.
you're just jumping out?
No, bail water out.
Okay. I don't know what it does. Like, wow, that's intense.
Just me and my half plate.
No
Jeez.
problem. You start swimming to the shore. Good luck.
That Bartholomew guy seems capable, and that barrel loves him.
Warlocks, can you go ahead and make athletics checks, please?
Why?
Just Val scrapes
It's gonna be
across.
so good. Don't even
And as
worry
you get
about
there,
it.
you can see little elements of Valis' ship that are still floating in the water.
14.
Athletics check 17.
Very nice. Look at that. So having seen now one person fly over the rocks and one person slam directly into it, you're like, you know what? We'll do this as intended. You take the poles, you just push off the rocks very gently. It's not especially graceful, but you lose none of your ship and you don't need to use magic to do it. You take the poles and you poke straight through. The other ship follows along behind. There is a few little bumps and scrapes from that final ship, but nothing too bad. Valis, the ship continues to fill with water, and it will take most of your concentration to continue to bail this out unless you want to repair this in some way. For the rest of you, you do see Valis' ship was previously, I believe, the second one in line. You would watch as it draws even with your ship and then slowly begins to like fall behind.
You might want to hop on a different ship.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'm gonna tell Alwit that you should head back. I don't know if this ship is gonna be in working order.
Make a persuasion. You know what?
And I'll hop onto a different ship.
As you just hop off and you tell him that, he's like, okay. Tell Voice it's sorry. And he just pulls really hard and there's this like creak and the whole thing swings like slowly around. You also see he's not heading straight back. It seems like he's heading further south and is then gonna like circle back in around the reef. But begins to head back.
Which one are you hopping onto?
I'll hop onto the one without anyone else on it.
Okay.
So that boat's not too heavy.
Yeah, no problem. Make an athletics check just for fun.
Oh, I'm just gonna face step over there.
Okay, no problem.
Just ignore that.
So you go, hey, you should head back. And then just way up here, right in this guy. The guy turns, just goes, and just like has no idea what's going on. Freaks out for a second, but and goes.
The barrel just kind of like rocks.
So you all watch now down one ship, but continuing on.
I think you brought an extra ship.
Well, tell me when the rocks are done. Tell me when the rocks are done. And she's gonna have her eyes closed, just holding on to the
Your eyes
ship.
closed, and you fly over the rocks, probably like a 50-foot patch, and so easily you clear that. It lasts for 10 minutes, correct?
Yes.
So for like 10 minutes, the ship is just flying, and you all watch as Minka like way overutilizes an ability to just sail clear. Minka, it's a very nice smooth sailing because there is no waves or water current, but for the rest of you, as you look down, you can see for the first like hour or two, and you do have like the first hour or two where nothing super eventful happens. So in a second, if there's stuff you want to do, you can let me know. But you can see the bottom. You can see there are these like little floating elements of like different kinds of freshwater vegetation that are coming straight up. The sediment is pretty stony, and so as it gets deeper, right around the part where you're stopping to be able to see the bottom, you can see it's getting more rocky and less plant growth. But for the first couple hours, is there anything that you want to do? It is getting a little windier. There are no like storms really nearby, but
I think Mingo's just gonna be like studying the different fish that she can see.
okay.
And just trying to like get a handle, like, okay, if I just and just kind of wiggle a little bit. She's trying to figure it out.
Make a perception check. I don't know why I couldn't say those words.
Uno.
Your eyes are shut tight, such that you have no real ability to look at the fish for the first little bit. You're a little anxious. I will say there is a point where, as you're going by at the very beginning, right before you hit the rock, you did see a small frog. It was kind of sitting on a bit of like the floating. Here in this lake, there's
There's a hut out in the woods.
there's duckweed that grows like super big, big enough for frogs to like sit on, and so you see that briefly. But after that incident, hard to look.
Okay.
I'd probably just be trying to calm Minka down and keeping like a passive eye out for any danger.
What's your passive
in the
perception?
water. 19.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have this block and tackle in my inventory, so I'm just gonna commit while we sail on.
Yeah, go for it. Make a sleight of hand check and add your proficiency modifier if you are proficient. Are you proficient in fishing?
I am not today.
Okay. You're not. That's it. Proficient.
Not today.
Is that a proficiency in 5e? I'm
What?
sure. Fishing.
With fishing tools or whatever they're called.
Oh, right. With proficiency with the tools. We're just talking about how 3.5 had like every skill known to man.
Yeah, it was
I bet
great.
that bullshit had some fishing in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It had like a World of Warcraft style fishing system, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Listen, I can break out my old 3.5 books. I have the whole thing. We can do it.
Don't get me wrong. I cut my eye teeth on 3.5. I loved it. And then 5 came along and I was like,
Yeah.
19.
19.
Like Pathfinder.
So for the first hour, as you set about fishing, Valis, you look over and across the water you can see Minka in this floating ship, eyes squeezed tight, and that's a shame because there's all kinds of cool fish in here. You can see iridescent red and blue fish that are kind of up right near the top, tiny little schools, and then as they turn, they seem to almost turn directly over, and the bottom of them is actually it's hard to tell which is the top. It's like a harlequin fish, and the bottom is dark colors, golden splotches, but gorgeous fish all around here for the beginning part. Too small to really fish for, but you can see as it gets a little deeper and you get away from the pennywort and the java ferns and the bits of hair grass that make the bottom of this place look almost like a little bit of a meadow. There are larger fish that you can see, and before too long you are able to catch and hook this very strong feeling jolt. But for you, especially with that check, no problem. You can land a real, you know what? I like surprises
You
too.
catch a 6.7 pound trout.
I catch a Widowmaker arowana.
You catch a nightmare. It is a medium-sized golden-throated trout. This was a fish that is mostly prepared smoked, but it is something that you can eat cooked in a variety of different ways. But yeah, it's a good eating fish.
It's a golden opportunity.
It's not the shiny golden trout, right?
No.
Okay.
The golden-throated trout are the
Gold sculptulas?
they're like cod, not super well regarded. They're fish that you can eat.
Oh, like kite.
Huh?
Like kites.
Yeah, I mean kite even less so. Kite, no,
Yeah.
not a fan.
Skate, that's what it is.
I knew what you were talking
Kite,
about.
yeah. Skate.
But yeah, you have this fish, definitely enough for several people to eat if you want it. There are other fish that you see as you are looking. They're a little bit deeper down, but you see flashes of flatter fish that have bright red and neon blue all along the top. With your previous check, actually, you've heard of their cichlids, various kinds of cichlids. You see red queens, you see yellow ceruleus fish, all kinds of different things. But you catch a nice trout.
Cichlids are so cool.
They
Sorry.
are.
So Alina is going to spend some time chatting with Rez telepathically, silently.
Okay.
And the goal is to come up together with some different ways that Rez might distract enemies during battle. So we're workshopping, you could get in their faces, you could pull their ears or whatever.
Oh, is that what you meant before about turning into things?
No.
Oh.
But we can workshop that too. No, I was thinking more when we're, in battle, if you are able to distract an enemy, then I can land a really solid hit on them, like team,
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good at being distracted.
Yeah. Okay. So during the conversation, then the goal is to talk through a bunch of different ways that he might choose to distract someone, and then we Alina's goal in the conversation is A, to come up with those things, and then B, make sure that we're on the same page about when Alina says distract that guy.
Make a persuasion check first.
He knows what to do. That's pretty good, my guy. It's a 14 on the die, and then persuasion.
Yep.
22.
Okay.
I had that right.
So
Thank you.
Rez listens to everything that you say. You workshop a couple different ideas, and then finally you're so to be clear,
Yeah.
this is I'll say you do this, and this is what you're going to do, and you're not going to hurt other people. You're not going to call guards on Ori.
Yeah.
And it seems like he generally gets the sense for this. You do realize there are times over the course of the conversation where he is just okay, but what if just never mind. And you can see, make an insight check.
10, I think. Yeah, 10.
Hard to tell.
Okay. And so, yeah, in Alina's mind, there's definitely time for more discussion and giving him more independence eventually, but now is not that time. So, so she's not going to stop and let him share his thoughts at this time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of goes, okay, so I kind of understand. We're just kind of getting used to this partnership, and we need to start with the basics.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so, and so if I say something like, go distract that guy, that's going to be kind of like a shortcut for what we talked about. And you're not going to hurt.
No. That's what I was going to say. It would be really helpful if you said I could hurt them or if I can't hurt them. Because the best distractions usually also hurt a lot.
That's actually fair. Okay, so if we're... so no hurting of anybody in our group, okay? No hurting of anybody who we are on the same side as. And if you're not sure if someone's on the same side as us, we can talk about it. Okay?
Okay.
If it's like someone that's hostile to us... then and I'm attacking it, then you go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to hurt any creature that is hostile to us.
Okay.
Are we on the same page about
Make
what
an insight check
hostile
again.
means?
With your previous insight check, yeah, you guys are on the same page. No problem.
I miss pedal.
16.
16? Yeah, you guys are
So many people.
All right.
Anything else?
Billy is just kind of like watching, like not watching into the water, but like watching like above the water line,
Okay.
just so you get like
Any dorsal fins.
like dorsal,
Sets of eyes.
but like
anything
you
that
see
breaks
the
the
glow,
I see what
but
you're
you're not staring at the glow.
I gotcha. You're using angles.
Exactly.
So make a perception check. Billy, you watch out across the water. The kind of ever gloom of Everest slowly transitions to the darker evening hours. Well, with that, you certainly see the water. You see the sky shift from the ever kind of expansive, enchanted emerald sky shift into a slightly darker tone. And not much else. As night draws, and you all have been awake for most of the day at this point, some of you beginning to feel fatigue more than others, it becomes roughly time to figure out what you're going to do about sleeping, as you are right in the middle of the lake. Vol, for those of you who are in this ship with him, who is, I believe, Mika and Ori, is going to turn and just say, "So, I would like to sleep. Can I trust the two of you to keep watch?"
I can keep watch. Yeah, that's fine. You can take your rest when you need it, Minka.
He looks at you a little bit. What's going on with the Magiocracy?
Honestly, no idea.
I don't mind dying, but I'd prefer to do it fighting, not while I'm asleep. I don't know what's going on with you.
I have no ill intent, if that's what you're concerned about.
Make a persuasion check.
At this point, Minka's gonna try and just be like, we've been traveling for a while, and he's been nothing but a good friend.
He turns and he looks at you. Make a persuasion check, Minka, at disadvantage.
Is Everett have to run for more murder?
That's really unfortunate that it was disadvantage.
Oh no.
A 2.
Oh, we're not very persuasive.
He looks a little suspicious at you, Ori. And he says, on second thought, I can push through.
Oh no.
You should get some rest. What's one more day?
Early.
Straightens up and he gets ready to stand watch. So you have a watch set for your ship. For the Valis, you are, as far as you can tell, the only other person aboard with this individual. So you're going to just split the watch half and half, or what?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Are you taking the first or second watch?
I will take the second watch.
Okay, no
And
problem.
I only need to sleep, I think, for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Elf.
Okay. So
Meanwhile, this side of the table's
Oh, we trans over here.
Warlocks. The two of you and Dimes. How are you splitting up your watch?
3 ways. Yeah. Whatever. I'll go.
First,
First, second, third. Cool. No problem. So,
Do we think Dimes is?
Dimes is gonna be up all night pushing through. He
Nope.
wants to be the first one.
Billy's fine with Dimes.
He wants that arowana.
Yeah, it's fine.
okay. No problem. So,
Did Alina say that, or did...
She said it.
When you wake up,
yeah.
we're staying right here.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess if Ormond is doing what he's doing, I will take my 4 hours immediately and then just be up the rest
Okay.
of the way.
Makes sense. So is anybody staying awake during the first part, though you have all used your NPC companions as your first watch?
First watch.
You were first watch,
first.
right. Okay. So Billy, make a perception check. It's always nicer to have you guys do it.
Oh my lord.
What was that?
None of my dice like me today.
What was
Nine.
it? A 9.
For what it's worth, I was rolling real hot last night, so
That's nice.
It's not even the spot. It's me. It's traveled.
Is it possible that Dan touched your dice?
Yeah, that's also a possibility.
Oh god, he might have just like. No, it's me.
So, most of you find rest. Minka, as you find sleep, you think about the terrifying ordeal. There's a couple times where you kind of like jolt awake, feeling like there's rocks coming for you, but eventually you find sleep. Although, right as you do, you have another one of those kind of jolts, and in that moment, you recognize again that wind coming from the northwest that lifted the ship. And as you fall asleep and you close your eyes and you see darkness for just a moment, it's like you could see stars in that direction. And then you fall asleep. Billy, you see much less than that over the course of the evening. You look out, and as the water takes on a darker tone, with the evening growing a little bit darker, it's hard to see much. It does that sometimes. That work?
No.
It'll happen. I think it's a software thing, and it's just something that needs to fix. It'll fix eventually. So here, whoa, stop distracting. So you look out across the dark water, and you see a glint, and then another, and another, and you look up, and you see overhead 3 small birds, perhaps, just passing with these like little bits of bioluminescent plumage as they go across. Certainly nothing coming across the water.
Probably the elves.
The lake seems to just... It's a little wavier for just a moment, but you feel wind too, so even though it doesn't correspond with the wind, you haven't spent a ton of time in water.
I haven't.
Is there anything you're doing?
No, if there's nothing disturbing Billy other than just like,
Yeah.
just kind of watching, thinking to herself about life, and certainly not death.
Yeah, no, definitely. Why would you ever think about that?
Never think about death.
Billy, as you are like considering all of this, there is a weird sensation that begins to kind of crawl in, and you're not quite sure what it is. At first, it's like there's a shift in the atmosphere, and at first your mind is like, oh, you look up for clouds, storms, barometric pressure, but nothing. Maybe just a migraine. For the rest of you, you do not get a full rest, and we'll find out why. But at the moment, it is 8:15. We're going to step away for a quick break. So, it is
Sorry.
8:17. We will be back at 8:27, and we'll probably be rolling for initiative.
Yay!
Are you sure about that?
Shock.
One of you.
Sure.
At least one of us.
We'll be back in a second.
Bye.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, welcome back. We are going to jump right back into our game, where we are on this nice, calm lake in the middle of the night, and nothing bad could happen because Billy is keeping such close watch.
Of course!
And Volbrand. And Dimes. No.
No, Times is asleep.
Alwit. No wit.
Billy,
None wet.
as you are kind of like lost in thought and just kind of like looking across, you hear like this weird transition in the sound.
Yeah.
Turning over and like looking, you hear just like, it's hard at first. You just hear it's like, and as you look up, you see Vol, the Dragonborn, who is just trying to make very quiet noises and then points directly behind you. You turn, and can everybody roll for initiative?
Yeah.
Why would you try to stay quiet during that?
Because it doesn't want to get agitated.
This is the time for that, definitely.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
a high roll?
Now I roll high. Why? Okay, I just got to use the big die today. Big die it is.
Ah!
Oh, this looks familiar.
Oh no. Sandworm. It's Grover.
So one of the things, unfortunately, when I was doing and designing this, they don't make snake miniatures to the size that I want. They also don't make giant catfish, so if you guys do run into it, that is the miniature that will be used, although not as is. So it doesn't look just like this, but give me just 1 second here.
I would immediately want to find a giant catfish miniature now.
I looked. They, as far as I could tell, they really don't exist, not the way that I want them. All right.
Kara's got tricks, though. I feel like.
I have access to a modeling program and a 3D printer.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, good.
Paint and stuff.
Billy, as you turn directly behind you, what you can see is a huge brown snake. This snake, as it rises up, you can see, like, first, it looks like you're staring directly at the trunk of a tree, but then as your eyes adjust a little bit, you can see it spreads out, like, past your field of view. This creature rises up and up and up, like 15 feet, 20 feet, and it still snakes down, and as you, like, turn and look, you can see, like, the body is going on the other side of the boat. This is a massive creature. Alina, you wake up, and can everybody roll for initiative, please?
I feel like with my initiative, Alina's gonna take a while.
I'll start.
All right, anybody natural 20?
I did.
Oh, Minka.
Snake.
So Minka with a natural 20, fantastic. Anybody 25 to 20?
21.
Nice.
1, fantastic. Anybody 20 to 15?
19.
So I'm assuming by Dex it's probably Ori and then Valis.
Yeah.
I think so.
15 to 10?
0.
Oh no.
It's yours.
Alina, where are you?
5. Oh, I didn't roll for Rez.
Yeah, we'll roll for red.
I'm gonna assume that, like with Petal, I'm in control of Rez during
Yes.
combat, right?
Rez
did better than me. He got a 12.
Okay. So, not bad.
Not bad.
The way that this works out, Minka, you are on the top, although those of you who are asleep will be using your action to make a perception check, and if you do not succeed, you are staying asleep for your round.
Yep.
So it's going to start with Minka, then Billy, then Ori, then Valis, then Rez, then this creature, and then finally all the way at the bottom, after the barrels and the ships and the seagulls, the bioluminescent birds, the cichlids, and the rocks themselves, is Elena.
I have advantage on my wake up check because of all the punching that that Hannah just took.
I'm so sorry.
Hannah gets advantage, sure. So,
yeah.
Minka, make a perception check.
Moral lesson number 2, friends. Punch your friends!
Perception.
Yeah.
25.
Okay. Even though this creature borders on silent, as Billy turns and just slap to Alina, before Alina even wakes up, your eyes shoot open and you again feel that jolt of like the rocks coming towards you. And so you sit bolt upright and you can see this snake just like looming over Billy.
So
That is your action.
Fear keeps you fast.
as I bolt up, I go, and I channel the archer.
Okay, fantastic. So you just ignite, and all of a sudden, in the dark, if there is anybody from miles around, there is just a beacon of celestial light that just fills the space as a celestial constellation ignites behind you, Minka, and you become the form of the archer. Anything else, Minka?
So that was my action. That's my bonus action. And if I free action scramble to my feet.
Okay. You scramble to your feet. That's technically your movement, but no problem.
Just the scramble was the free action
Gotcha.
part of it, yeah.
it's the style in which you were doing it. Sure.
Yeah.
So you climb to your feet. That is your turn, Minka. Billy, what are you doing?
Well, Billy is going to hex Blade's curse the fish,
Okay. This is like a huge anaconda.
the snake,
No problem.
and is it within striking distance?
For you, yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna hit it.
Do it.
I'm gonna hit it so good. I've hex Blade's curse it, so I've crit.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Roll damage on that.
Good start.
Fuck.
Man, makes it look so easy.
Hold on. I'm trying to new character sheet. Who this? Okay.
I'm looking at it.
Good. That's fine. 6 plus 9.
9 on a crit.
You doubled the dice value, yes?
So, Billy, you can see Vol just points, and you turn, and instinctively, your rapier already in your hand, you slide, and it just does a little right across this anaconda, and as you go, you're expecting it to be like a throat slit, but this creature is so much larger than the humanoid kind of size that you were expecting that it seems to do almost nothing. But does do full damage. Anything else, Billy?
Free action sigh.
No problem. That is a free action. That is your turn, Billy. Ori, could you please make a perception check? And make it at advantage as you are meditating and not sleeping.
All right, that's 27.
27, you absolutely hear the sound of V-Man. The sound of Archer. Rez is between V-Man and the Sneck, but yes. So, yeah, you wake up, bolt upright, and as you turn and look behind you, you see Vol who's pointing, and then beyond Vol, you see this huge
Knock and an arrow. Steady aim.
It's just like
Shooting at it.
with what?
Bonus action, steady aim.
Okay,
And then firing with my longbow.
was an action.
Yeah.
Action perception check to it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Steady aim?
So, no, then in that case, I'm going to use my bonus action to do insightful fighting on it.
Awesome.
So it's contested against its deception check, I think.
Okay.
It's net 1 for me for a total of 10.
You fail by 1. Yeah, it has a -4.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You look at this creature, and it is a huge fucking snake. You have no idea what to do with this. Anything else, Ori?
Nope, that's it. My bonus
Alrighty.
action and not much movement to be had. So.
Dallas, you are asleep, correct?
Yes.
Make a perception check.
Trancing.
So make a perception check at
Trance in
advantage.
here.
What are you guys, elves or
Hasn't
something?
even been 4 hours.
It's been 2 hours.
Does Bartholomew not roll at me?
No, definitely not. Bartholomew has no idea.
Advantage?
Yeah,
Oh, great. That's a 1 and a 20.
fantastic. So bracketing both sides, you just bolt awake. As soon as the other elf does, you just, boom, it's like you're synced. You turn, you can see this huge snake. That is your action.
That's my action?
Yeah.
Of course. Free action, yell, snake!
So across the water, the celestial light glows, and the war cry of snake.
Oh my god.
Is it an action to don a shield, or is it a movement action? I forget.
I think it's a bonus action, but what we'll say is because this is you waking up and your action is just a perception check, you can pull the shield out, no problem.
Alright, I'll pull the shield out and I will just and pull out my weapon too. Pull
Okay.
out the spear.
No problem. You get ready. You are awake. That is your turn. Rez.
Perception, you said?
Yep.
Oh.
Rez can make a perception check at advantage as Velis is just yelling out snake now.
Nice. Perception is wisdom? 17.
Okay. So all of a sudden, just like in your brain, you can just hear, whoa, 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 and he just bolts awake.
And
That's it. You
That's
can't tell him to do anything, right?
oh no, yeah, no, it's
Reaction, wake up.
So just, yeah.
I mean, I can't. Right, I have to wait until my turn.
Yeah, so there you go. That is Rez. He will defend himself where he is. That brings us to this creature. So you right across it, and it barely does anything across these scales.
Sure.
As your sword hits it, you can see all across the back these like green lines just light up along the scales, and it feels like the blue glow of your blade would almost dim were it active. This seems to have some anti-magic properties to it. So this creature is going to go ahead and, Billy, it rises up and is going to slam down on you. That is a natural 20.
We know who's got all the good rolls today.
That is going to be only 12 points of damage.
Wait,
Can you go ahead?
Wait. I would love to use my reaction to, so when Billy sees it coming down, she just like says, "No, you don't," and silvery barbs.
Make an Arcana check.
No,
I told
no,
you about this.
no.
He did try to warn us.
I know,
I'm backing
but
yes
I
for
just
my
don't
reason.
want the nat 20.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's so low. It's a 2 on the die, and I've got 5.
So silvery barbs, and you watch as just nothing happens, and this thing slams down on you. That is going. That is going to be only 12 points of bludgeoning damage. But could you please make a strength saving throw?
No. Please no. Please no. It's a 4.
It slams into you. The wood creaks and cracks. This boat is mildly damaged, but that's the least of your worries.
Yep.
You feel the smooth scales wrap around you before all of a sudden it just plunges you into the water.
What?
What is your Constitution score?
The score? 16.
Yeah, 16. Okay. No problem. So, Billy, you don't have time to take a grasp of air or anything like that. So you have very limited oxygen. You have about a round until the penalties of suffocation begin to start, and you start making checks against that.
Fantastic.
You are grappled as well. However, it cannot move further after taking that action, and so it stays just below the water, at least for this turn. That is this creature's turn. That brings us to Alina, followed by Minka. Alina, go ahead and make a perception check at advantage.
My friend. Perception. Hope that I can save my friend. 17.
17. There's all this commotion that's going on, and then on top of that, you could just hear Rez in your ear, in your mind. You're just going, Alina, and you have to kind of wake up, and just chaos. All of a sudden, slam, the whole boat shakes, and Billy is just gone.
Okay, so I'm going to, as a bonus action, be like, I'm up. What is, okay, Rez, go attack whatever is attacking us.
Got it.
And Rez does have a swim speed, just so you know, because of investment in the Chain Master,
Okay.
so.
Cool. So on his turn, that's what he's going to do. That is your turn, Alina. That brings us to the top of the round.
Oh, wait, sorry, do I have a move?
Yes, you do.
Stand up.
You stand up. You proc right to your feet. That is your turn, Alina. That brings us to Minka. Billy, you're on deck.
I'm going to look at the snake, and I'm going to archery it.
Yep.
So
Is this a magical...
it is. It's,
okay. So make your attack roll.
Yep. So that is a 15 to hit.
15 to hit. 15 does hit. Make an Arcana check.
13.
A 13. You watch as this arrow streaks across the darkness, and the dark water is lit up in a line along the way, and it just shatters across the scales. Doesn't seem to do any damage. This is a magical effect.
It's immune to magic.
It's not immune, but it has ways of resisting.
It's got anti-magical properties.
Anything else, Minka?
I'm gonna be like, no, and then just try guiding bolt to see if I can at least make it glow.
Yeah, sure. Make an attack roll.
Hey, y'all remember when Billy was grappled last time and Minka cast Guiding Bolt?
Minka is trying. Her heart is, dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits. Go ahead and roll a Arcana
It's not a
check.
1.
She's not a 1. That would be impressive, though.
Oh, a natural 20!
Very nice. Minka, as you do this the first time and you reach out and you fire this arrow and you watch it just shatter into starlight and just dissipate into darkness, that is not going to work. And so you take this guiding bolt and you hold it and you build up the power and you concentrate. It's like all the stars across your body dim as this one builds, and you unleash the largest guiding bolt that you ever have, and it rips across this place, and you see it slows and almost stops as it gets into the plates before it just hits and just explodes. Go ahead and roll damage for that. It is a critical hit. And you get the sense that your magic, for the time being, has overwhelmed this anti-magic defense.
Oh, nice.
And because you're at the top of the round, that's like the whole round that those are down. So that's pretty good.
Defenses are down.
I just want to make sure I'm rolling the right.
Use bombs wisely.
I am not. It is that. Okay. I will be rolling damage for a second as I organize myself.
Yeah,
I'm
no problem.
all out of it. But I will tell you what the amount is, because the only other thing she can do this turn is just yell, magic doesn't really work until you hit it really hard.
So with that wisdom from Minka, magic really will work as long as you hit it hard enough. Is Minka a barbarian?
She is malicious.
Basically, was Brenna's rule of thumb: hit hard enough and maybe some magic.
Oh my gosh, you could
that
dip
worked
into the barbarian.
It's 17 points of radiant damage.
17 points of radiant damage. Very nice.
And
Brenna dipped into
next
You watch.
attack against it has advantage.
As all of a sudden, and I believe we actually have a glowing status marker now.
We do. It's right.
Courtesy of Kara. But we, all of a sudden, as you strike and it overwhelms the scales, all of the green elements that seem to trace like filaments along its scales just switch over and begin to glow over bright with this radiant energy. And for all of you, this snake just glows in the darkness now. Just incredibly bright. You can see like fish swimming away from it in the shadows. But that is anything else, Minka?
No.
All right. Well done. It is glowing. Billy, you are underwater. If you probably want to make a, well, let me put it to you this way. You're grappled. So what do you want to do? So,
Billy's gonna attempt to stab the thing holding her.
okay, you want to make an attack roll?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, make an attack at disadvantage.
A disadvantage?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Break out of
No,
the
I don't
grapple.
think
Give
so.
me 1 second here. I thought it picked it disadvantage.
No, I'm pretty
be
sure it's
for-
just that her speed is 0.
Yeah, that might be for
look at that. Fantastic.
what's it? Restrained.
Restrained.
Yeah, okay.
Restrained
There you go,
is-
there you go, there you go.
It's grappled as the poor man.
Am I grappled or am I restrained?
You are grappled. You're
Okay,
so no
poor
worries.
man's
Go ahead and
restrained.
make your attack roll.
19.
19, that is a hit.
This is so infuriating to me because I crit before.
Yeah.
And then
This is 11 points of damage, and I have more now.
As you get pulled underwater, and you can feel this snake is intent on diving straight down, and so its goal is not to kill you by biting you; it's just going to drown you. But You feel the air already beginning to burn. There is nothing in your lungs. And so in this moment of panic, you just like reverse the grip and you stab as hard as you can. And you feel first the blade bend before it just pierces in. You can almost hear this little ding, ding, ding throughout the water, and it releases. You feel the current like as it gets ready to just bash you, probably, but anything else, Billy? You are freed.
Billy doesn't have a swim speed, but is going to attempt to swim towards the top. And while doing so, she just shouts,
Make a survival check. This is for free, but you are underwater and it is dark, even with the light up top. This is incredibly disorienting.
She's head down.
What was that check?
An 8.
An 8. It's close. For a moment, as you splash in and it lets go, it turns you end over end, and you can see elements of light, but it's disorienting, and you begin to swim, but you realize as you see bubbles going past you, you're going the wrong way. So you reverse and begin to go up, but you're still underwater.
Do I still get my bonus action?
Yeah.
Healing word.
Oh, very nice. Now, does that have a verbal component?
It does, but I shouted,
Yes. So if you would like, you can begin suffocating and cast that spell. Okay, fair enough. So you hold that last little bit of air in. On your next round, if you're unable to get out from the water, you are going to begin suffocating. So that is your turn, Billy.
Billy, did you roll that attack at advantage by any chance?
I did not.
Oh,
Roll at
just in case. Roll it again. How cool would that be, though? So, no problem. The snake
You get 1 per die.
stops glowing. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Ori. Valis, you're on deck. Ori, what do you want to do? The snake stops glowing.
So I can still see it.
Yeah.
Steady aim, looking for like an eye or some weak point between the like hard-ish external scales, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna fire my longbow at it.
Yeah, make your attack roll.
Advantage, which
It'll be
is gonna be a 22 to hit.
The 22 absolutely hits.
Yes. And ooh, max damage. 13 points of piercing.
Even more than Billy's? Even more than Billy's critical? You reach out and having steadied your aim and tried as hard as you can to find some element of weakness here, you don't find any gaps necessarily in the armor, or in the scales, but you do see an area where there's like a streak that has been cut across with Billy's rapier, and so you aim at that. Even in the darkness, as it like dives up and down. Yes?
Short sword.
Short sword, sorry. Short sword. So you fire at this little slit just as it goes. No, like most people wouldn't even see it, but you see it and you just let the arrow go, and it disappears.
Is Billy still like visible in the water or
No.
too deep? Okay.
Billy's I mean, you don't have no idea where Billy is. Billy's
Right.
probably
I just
only
saw
about
Billy
5
get
feet
grabbed
deep.
and like brought under and like,
Yeah.
okay. But it's dark out, so we can't really see that deep now.
Correct. For a moment you could, and then the snake.
Yeah, and it's like bubbles everywhere and shit. Yeah, makes sense.
Anything else, Ori?
Nope. Steady
right.
aim. So
Valis, what would you like to do? Rez is on deck.
So how far?
Volbrin and then going.
Great point. Didn't roll initiative for Volbrin.
Good job.
He's going after the creature, so you just lost one
Wait,
turn.
who's V-Man?
V-Man was going to be Volbrand because I thought I...
The others only
then
have
keep
like
it.
spears, and so they can keep him away if it gets close. But Volbrand actually has a way of fighting.
Gotcha.
So Snick then Volman.
Yeah.
I realize that Volman sounds more like a Moleman adjacent person.
Like a vole.
Like a bull.
Yeah,
Valis, what would you like
that's
to
why I
do?
said Volman.
Let's see.
Like a.
From
we
where
don't have
you are,
Volman.
right in
Let's
front
talk
of
about
you.
Volman.
So right in front of you, you can see like the water move as this huge snake body is just underneath, and then it goes faster as the front part is diving down. You're just seeing the end of the tail as it goes up and is about to drop down into the water. The light goes out. There's all kinds of chaos happening beyond. The sail does block your way a little bit, and so based on where the wind is, it's a little tough to see this thing right now.
Did I see Billy
Yeah,
get...
absolutely.
Okay. Do I think I can jump to the other boat with movement and running jump?
I mean, it would be a tough athletics check, but you possibly could. What I'll say is, you could, in theory, right as the tail is like going by, you could try to use that as a step and just jump across if you want to make an athletics check for it.
Legolas
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, no problem. This is a free athletics check, or I would say it could be athletics or acrobatics, and it just carries the penalty of falling into the water if you fail.
Okay. I will do that.
Great.
Let's see.
Harry half-plate.
No, he realized later that
It's split.
it's split because half plate actually made his AC go down by one.
While wearing full split?
He wanted the
glossed
one
over it, but
between
Dallas
chainmail
went and
full
put it
plate.
on in the dressing room. It was way too small. It was like, actually, this doesn't work.
Actually, can I exchange this for
18 athletics.
18 athletics, no problem. So right as the tail goes by, you leap off, and you can see the person who's with you is just like, no, and then you just jump, and you barely touch the snake. You feel it try to pull its tail away, but you get just enough contact to carry you over, and you like tumble. It's not like a superhero landing. It's like face first, but you pull yourself up to your feet. No problem.
All right. And I look in the water. Do I see? And I also have dark vision.
Yeah, so looking
I
down from
see
here,
Billy?
you see Billy.
I see Billy?
Billy's only about 5 feet beneath the water.
Okay. I am going to. Let's see. How much movement do I have left after that?
What's your movement speed?
30.
15 feet.
Okay. All right. And can I see any part of the snake left?
Yeah, you can see. So, like, after it let go of Billy, so it's like up and then down, and so this part is still visible. You missed the tail, so the tail's probably coming, and then it's probably going to re-emerge on its next turn.
Okay. Free action, drop my spear, pull out a javelin, and
Okay.
my action. Actually, no. I'm just gonna throw the spear, and then I can take out the javelin and throw the javelin too,
Yeah.
right?
I have to double check, but yeah, you can definitely throw the spear. Oh, you mean because you have more than one attack?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
All right. So, attack with the spear. Ooh, natural 20.
Fantastic. Go ahead and roll
Can I
damage for
smite
that.
on a ranged attack?
You could try if you want.
I smite.
Make an Arcana check.
All right. Let me see that again. Woo, that one is not a bad roll. Let's see. Ooh, 18.
At 18, okay. This overwhelms these magical plates, already flickering and somewhat damaged from Minka. Absolutely overwhelms it. So go ahead, roll damage. You can roll smite as well.
All right. Is the damage for a thrown spear the same as just spear?
I believe so, yeah.
All right. So and smite. Sorry, it's my first time doing any damage with this character.
It's my first time I'm nervous.
I forfeit my initiative tracker privileges.
Alright. And smite damage is.
NPCs are not being.
Become malicious.
Does anyone know what smite damage
Fisher
is? Off the
people
top
are
of your head?
friends.
D6.
It's usually radiant if it doesn't say otherwise.
You can
Fisher people are
expend.
friends, not
Oh, it
rude.
says when I hit for divine smite, it does say only for melee weapon attacks. So does it mean I can't use it on the roller?
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right.
There's other kinds of smite, like brandishing smite doesn't have that restriction, but
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that's
Actually,
the
was I
spell
arranged
instead
to
of
hit
the
it in melee?
channel.
I just assumed I wasn't, so I threw it when I was on that ship.
You are now on the ship, so if you take 5 more feet of movement, yeah, you are. You can just melee it. So yeah, no problem.
all right,
You
awesome.
melee it. So go ahead, roll
Thanks.
damage.
So then,
2d6.
and do you double dice or double value on dice?
Double value on dice just because it's faster.
Okay. So then 2d8 and a d6. Woo! All right. So 6, 11. So 22, and then plus just 28 damage.
28 damage.
Yeah.
Very nice. So as you like fall almost on your face from this massive jump and you pull yourself to your feet, you use the tip of the spear to like pull yourself up. And then as the slippery wood allows you to carry your momentum across, you pull this around, the spearhead like heating up with the smite, and it strikes, and almost with the same luminescence as that radiant bolt that Minka threw, there is a fiery radiant glow that just emanates the scales off of this thing. And as the light dies down, you see charred flesh, you see elements of bone like ribs sticking out. It's badly hurt by that. You imagine that deals double damage. Wait, is that fire or radiant? Sorry.
It was radiant.
Ah, never mind. But still does a lot of damage. Still plenty of damage. It is no longer on death's door, but it's still not looking great.
All right, I'll attack it again with my second attack.
Make your attack roll.
Oh my gosh. Paladins, man.
This isn't the arowana, is it?
No.
It's just a snake.
It's a snake.
It's just a big snake.
Oh, there was a snake.
15.
It's an Ina Kamudi. Yeah.
15.
15. With a 15, that hits. Absolutely.
So that's just a d6. 9 damage.
9 damage. Very
I'm
nice.
attacking that same spot, by the way.
Yeah, no, of course. As you can see, like the smoldering remains of this creature's like hide that has just been pulled away at this point from multiple blasts. This is where Billy hit. This is where Ori hit. This is where you hit. And so slowly, this has just been like gouging a huge hole. And so this is absolutely like the glowing weak point of the boss. But no problem. Anything else, Valis?
Yes. So free action. Take a deep breath.
Okay.
And you said that Billy's 5 feet away and I have 10 feet of movement, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna jump into the water.
Okay.
And I am going to. Let's see. Alright, so. And as my bonus action, I am going to. Let's see. Where did it say this?
Isn't smite bonus action?
No, I think it's just part of the attack.
Paladin is the only
Smites
class
are
that I've never
bonus
played,
action.
So
Oh, really?
Pretty sure.
Oh.
I've got one.
Oh no, that's a
Wrathful
spell though. That's different
Smite
than
is
Paladin Smite.
Paladin Smite is an ability,
It's
yeah.
a channel divinity.
Oh, if it's a channel divinity, then yeah, no, it's not a bonus action. Yeah, you could just do that.
No, channel divinities are different than Smite.
But it
just
works.
says
It
Divine
works in the
Smite.
same way in that you don't need a bonus action to do it.
Yeah, I spend a spell slot to use it, but it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it doesn't have,
absolutely
like, a
can.
speed.
It's
Yeah.
part of the weapon attack.
And you can
Yep.
choose to do it even after you confirm.
Cost is a
Yep, yep, yep.
successful
Yeah,
hit. And it's
which is why you do it when you crit.
Divine
Right.
Smite.
So as
backup character's a paladin.
alright.
Yeah, you
So
expend one spell slot.
I want to use my face step, and it says, and I'm going to touch Billy.
Okay.
So I'll reach out and touch Billy, and then I'm gonna turn around and look at the top, like just above the ship,
Okay.
and Billy, would you like to be a willing creature and teleport into the ship? All right, you're on the ship. You're on the ship now.
You touch Billy, and just
Do that with others.
and all of a sudden there is just on this like the top of the ship there is a whirlwind of wet leaves that just whirl out, and then Billy and Valis.
Oh,
Billy.
I'm still in the water.
Okay, so Billy just into the deck. No problem. Alina, you see Billy again. That is your turn, Valis?
Yep.
All right.
In the water.
Rez.
All right, that was a long one.
Valis is now Alina's favorite person
yeah.
because
Billy.
he's all right, Rez's turn, so he's gonna do what he was told and try to go attack Snack.
Okay. Go ahead, but oh, excuse me. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
So sorry, is Snack underwater now? I lost track of Snack.
Snack is above water. Snack is always technically above water unless they choose to be below water, and I'll make it pretty clear if they do.
All right, cool.
But they're large enough that they can do
So
both.
he's gonna go sting Snack.
Okay, yeah.
Sting the snake.
11.
11. That's not enough, unfortunately. And so in the water, you can hear Rez in your mind who just goes, I got this! And just splash. He goes, oh, it's gold! And just you hear another little splash again as he just erupts back out.
Great work, buddy.
That is Rez's turn. That brings us to this creature. So not in great shape. It is going to like go all the way down into the water, so there's a moment where you just like lose it. And then Dimes, Alina, and Billy are all gonna make dexterity saving throws, please.
I'm gonna take that.
This isn't a magical effect.
It is not, no.
Oh, it's probably just pushing us. Oh no.
Dex save is 18.
18, great.
Dex save. Open up a thing. 10.
All of a sudden, this
willing it to do
creature lunges out of the water directly underneath this raft and just overturns it. The entire thing is tossed like 10 feet into the water. It's almost a replay of Minka's levitation spell before it end over end and just slams into the water. Billy, you like managed to jump clear, and so you can land anywhere within 5 feet of where that was. Alina, you go in with the ship. As you like get hit with the actual raft itself, you do take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are underwater under this raft in the dark. That is, it's great. It's still underwater.
Dimes.
Dimes is in the water as well.
Oh no, not Dimes. Not Dimes. Not Dimes. Hashtag save Dimes.
Dimes didn't fail their check.
Times is less dire.
Yeah.
Rez can fly, so he's fine,
Yeah,
right?
he's fine.
Yeah.
That is that creature's turn, so it blows out of the water and it just rises up now and it turns looking in your direction, Ori, and in that kind of glowing visage of Minka. But that brings us to Vol. So Vol is going to take out their spear, and actually, Ori, this entire time they've been sitting there like sticking them into the wood. So there's like 4 or 5 of them now, and he just pulls out 1 or 2 of them and is just like throwing them end over end.
Nice.
And so 2 attacks on his turn.
I like that.
That is going to be a 12 and a 13.
I don't like
A
that.
13 hits. Actually,
Oh, nice.
hang on. 12 meets a pizza.
Ah, pizza.
All right. Damn. So with both of those, that is 12 points of damage.
Nice.
And okay. So this creature, it takes 1 spear and then another spear, and it is like writhing now. And from that huge gaping hole, there is like this huge thud, and then like you see this, what looks like maybe organs or something begin to spill out, like this dark mass begin to move through. It's really beginning to look hurt. But that is Vol's turn. That brings us to Alina.
I guess I'm gonna try to swim to the surface.
You have a swim speed?
Nope.
Cool. So with 15 feet, go ahead and just for free make a survival check.
Technically, it's 17.5.
Okay.
Survival. 2.
2. You have no idea which way that 17.5 feet is. The shape of the ship is such that you need, if you go left or right, in theory, it's just open water. But if you go straight or you go right, you aren't going to make it all the way out. 17.5 feet is just a little bit too far.
Yeah.
So, roll a d4.
2. Another 2.
So you just pick a direction and go. Out from the water, you emerge.
Hooray! Thanks, D4.
You're welcome, Hannah.
How
Dimes was not so lucky.
how much movement speed did that use?
That would be 15 feet of movement.
That was
yeah.
my whole movement. All right. I'm treading water.
Okay.
So
You come on the far side, so you're like right next to Billy right now.
okay.
Right next to Billy right now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Also next to this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I really want to thunderstep it, but I don't want to electrocute my friends.
Please don't.
I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not going to.
Is it,
Not again.
what's the type of dangerous?
Thunder.
What you doing?
And
all right,
water too makes it tough.
But can I just shoot it with an Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead,
Okay.
make your attack roll.
I'm gonna try really hard.
Thunder is electric type.
Also good. Better. 15.
Make an Arcana check.
That's 7 on the die plus 11.
You hold your hand out and you fire point blank, and you watch in its pain, it seems to like flare as hard as it can, and even with the damage that Minka has dealt, not enough to break through it.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. And then, all right, as a bonus action, I'm gonna say to Rez, okay, when the next time you have an opportunity, try to distract that big worm using one of the things we talked about.
All right, I got it.
And when I say worm, I mean snake, that big thing we're fighting, you know.
No, I think I understand what you're talking
Okay, good, just checking.
Earthworm.
Yeah.
about. You see, he's just stabbing an earthworm to death. It's just Valis's tackle blocks. It's just completely like taken apart. But no problem. That is your turn, Alina. That brings us to Minka. Minka, in your glowing celestial form, you can see this worm is like gushing blood. There are like organs coming out of it. What do you want to do?
All right. I saw the boat get overturned, but I don't think I can really see anyone in the water.
Not really from there.
So I'm gonna be like, oh my god, and just guiding bolted again.
Okay, make your attack roll.
There's so many things.
You missed the dice tower, the whole tower.
It's fine. I can read this one.
Flustered Alana is not as fun as Flustered Minka.
13.
13, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Aim a little bit better. 14.
That hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
All right. So it is 4, 6. I had another one. It's gone. Oh, it's right here. I'm blind. Yay. 17 points of radiant damage.
How much?
17.
Minka, tell us how it happens.
Nice.
So, being just completely done with the water and everything going wrong and the water constantly, people drowning, she's just gonna look at this thing and just be like, no! And just guiding bolted. And then just, you know.
No problem. So you fire this huge guiding bolt, and as it streaks forwards towards this creature, it enters this huge cavity that has been carved away from the smite and the arrow and the short sword, and just every single strike in the exact same place. It enters, and for just a moment, through this brown creature, there is just like an interior glow that lights everything with like an ominous amber hue, and then it just explodes across this entire place. Everybody in the vicinity, I would say, except for Billy and Alina, who are in the water and can duck underneath,
Yay.
are just showered with viscera. And you are all out of initiative.
See, so the danger is over now, clearly. Right?
Make a perception check.
I was gonna say, nothing is...
Fly into the danger zone.
Because also, yeah, now there's a lot of viscera in the water, and
Make
like
a perception
sharks are
check.
attracted to.
Hark, a
Are
trout!
there gonna be sharks in this freshwater lake that we're in?
I don't know, probably worse. Than
This is a
sharks.
fantasy lake. You never know.
Minka, next to you, Volbren is like pulling the spears out of the raft, is just going to turn and just go, that was pretty good.
Thanks.
11
From the water,
passive
Alita's like,
19.
good job, Minka.
Oh, and he goes over and he like reverses his grip on the spear and like holds it out so you can like pull, you can try to pull you back in.
Thank you.
But he turns over his shoulder to you, Minka, and he says, it's a good thing we found a young one. What were you saying?
My passive is 19.
19?
yeah.
Okay. What was your active roll?
An 11.
All this viscera in the water.
Yeah, I'm
You
like,
see just like organs going by, all kinds of stuff.
I'll probably just grab my staff, try to help
Two
people in.
Go ahead.
You first.
I want to just use Divine Sense, just reflexively,
Sure.
just to see if I just sense any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet in the middle of this lake.
You never know.
Nothing.
And then off my knowledge of the creatures in this lake, now there's a bunch of viscera all around us.
Yeah.
Is that going to attract something that we don't want it? That would be bad. That would be dangerous to us.
You know instinctively that most catfish are, I mean, they're opportunistic carnivores, but really they're detritivores. And so when there is viscera or chum or things like that, that will certainly attract them. That's more likely to pull things from the bottom up to the top. I mean, things like to eat. And this is a huge creature that is now bleeding into the water. So this is a beacon for sure. That being said, I mean, this is also the kind of creature that secures a good amount of territory for itself. So you might be safe for a time. As you don't detect anything immediately nearby, it's hard to tell.
Okay. I'll start working on trying to flip the ship.
Okay, no problem.
I think it's gonna use another spell slot to cast levitation on the flip ship and try to flip it.
So Valis, you go over to it and you're like, oh, I wonder how heavy it is, and you give it like a test lift, and it just, and you're like, holy shit! And then you look over, and Minka's just like turning it over, but no problem. Billy?
As Billy's like treading water,
Is Dimes up out of the water?
Yeah, Dimes can climb out of the water.
she's like looking around for any like part of the snake that might fetch coin or potentially be useful.
Make a survival check, yeah. There's definitely pieces floating around.
There's so many pieces floating
Can I
around.
use my eye for detail now that everyone is back on the ships and righted, and just like I'm scanning the water
Yeah, make a perception check.
to see for any
With a
hidden
13,
objects.
there is a single scale, and when they're away from the actual like creature, they do have a little bit of like a metallic sheen, but really just almost clear, and so hard to see in the water, and you just catch one. And as you hold it, with the little elements of magic that are kind of latently within you, it does like glow a little bit green.
Is it perception or investigation?
You tell me, it's your feature.
I can use both, but it's to discern hidden objects or creatures or clues.
So which are you looking for?
I'm looking for hidden objects or creatures,
So which one is that?
which I believe is perception. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just
Joe
wanted to
stole
double
my
check.
teacher voice.
So it's a 23.
With a 23, you look out into the water and you do see movement. You see little bits, little small fish just grabbing things as they go up. Nothing big yet, but already things are arriving.
Should probably get moving.
All right. I saw Billy grab a scale, so I want to try to cast Detect Magic to see if I can get any as well.
So you cast Detect Magic, and it doesn't detect these scales. This is an anti-magic property, and so probably not going to do a great job detecting magic on them.
What was the name of the snake again?
This is an Ina Kamudi, INA space KAMUDI.
Oh, I almost got it right. I almost put the space in. And I just okay.
I'm shoving off to get the ship moving
Okay.
out of this
Yeah, no
chum
problem.
water.
Vol's gonna help you and get everything kind of set up, and you're just gonna say, "Yeah, we probably want to get going. This is only gonna attract stuff we don't want." But good job, all of you. This really helps.
Nice. We're gonna start, I guess, doing whatever that is.
Yeah, you kind of like pull away
Paddling.
from the stones and start getting a little bit away, so you can start getting underway with wind. Vol's gonna turn and like, kind of presuming that all of you pull alongside each other to kind of have a moment of like discussion, not be in a train for a second. Vol is gonna tell all of you, we probably want to move for at least an hour before we try to rest again. I can stay up. That's my plan anyways, so if you need to get sleep, that's fine.
I think it's just gonna like lie down on the boat and just be like, yep.
Okay, no problem.
Fetal position or
She's a little curled. It's not quite a full fetal, but she's definitely not like
getting there.
Yeah.
Take off my cloak thing and just like give it to Minka as a blanket. Get some rest there, champ.
So you just put Minka down for a nap. Are you trancing?
Yeah, I'd get back up to the front and kind of like start my trance just staring into the ocean.
If anything goes in this spot of the ocean, you got
Yeah.
it.
Well, passive, but like just glazing out. Over
So again, we've talked about the fact that you cannot rest and also.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to keep watch. I'm just glazing out over the ocean,
And if
in
I
the
see
trance.
anything, I ain't gonna ask no
We
questions.
transit.
You start to like hallucinate a little in your sleep. You see nothing, but you
see
definitely you
goldfish.
feel like you see all kinds of stuff. So no problem. Are you trancing as well?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Minka's sleeping. Alina, are you resting?
Yeah, I mean, if resting and traveling is something that we can do.
Yeah. Your NPC companions will take care of the travel part, and then Vol will be the one that will stay watch when you guys get about an hour away.
Before I trance, does Vol look like he's hitting a level of exhaustion soon? Like, is he looking pretty haggard after this?
Make an insight check.
Because he's like, I'll keep watch because he doesn't trust me, but like, that's a 27.
You've met exactly 2 other Dragonborn in your life, and so like hard to tell. Yeah, hard to tell. They don't seem to be especially tired.
All right, then yeah, I'll take my 4 hours and
Okay, no problem.
then get up.
Billy?
Keep and watch.
Okay, so Billy, make a perception check. Redeem yourself.
There we go. That's a 23.
A 23.
Roll for initiative.
Widowmaker's here.
Excuse me while I get a bigger miniature.
I had the catfish the whole time.
An hour goes by. 2 hours go by. Billy, you're on extra alert.
Of course. I just got eaten by a snake.
Every now and then, from across the way, you just hear, "Hey, you're still awake?
Yes.
I just want to make sure because of last time." Every now and then, you just get this whisper to make sure that you're awake. And that becomes a little distracting, but not distracting enough for you to see off in the distance in your wake. As you turn and look, you are like side by side with the other ship, and so there's nothing behind you. You just see dark water. You can see off in the distance, just in the periphery, a large disturbance in the water, heading in the direction of the creature that you just killed. And as it moves away, with that roll, you can't quite see what it is, but it's bigger than the Inakamudi was. You continue to sail. Vol doesn't seem to notice it at all, just continues to go, and like another 30 minutes later, you just hear, "I'm really not trying to annoy you. You still awake?"
Yes.
He turns and continues. Everybody can mark off a long rest, except for Billy. Billy, the watch that you have for the first 4 hours, without issue aside from that. And also Vol asking if you're awake every 20 minutes or so. As Ori and Valis wake up only after 4 hours, are you going to take a rest? Okay.
Taking
Sorry.
watch.
What was that?
So now just the 2 of you are up. You have 4 hours before other people wake up. Is there anything you
Is
want to do at that
Volvern
time?
going to sleep when I get up?
He's gonna turn and glance over, and then he's gonna turn and look. He's gonna look at Valis.
Oh, but look at that kind.
He's just gonna shake his head, and he just continues to look out. He's on guard.
Even though
Sure
we
you
got
don't
Am I
pressed
within
it?
speaking distance of?
And I put the blanket
Am I
on
within speaking distance
Minka.
of Vol?
Yeah, so you guys are all kind of tied together now. That you
I
made like an hour
expressed
away.
Oh, I see.
kindness.
So I want to say to Vol, aren't you gonna rest yourself? We can, Ori and I can take watch from here.
We just met, and he looks back towards Billy. I just prefer to keep watch myself.
I'll just stare over at Valis. Be like, with my eyes, like, he doesn't trust me, bro.
But we need
I
you
heard-
to be rested to help lead us to our quarry.
I've been this way many times. I'll be
Okay.
fine. 4 hours goes by. The rest of you, with the exception of Billy, wake up. Billy gets to have a little sleep in for the hard work of keeping double watch. Is there anything that you want to do as the morning draws and people kind of wake up and begin to like eat little bits of hard bread and stowed jam and things of that nature?
Are we?
Jam.
Are we going to probably run across the Widowmaker today?
I would hope so. We're going to go across its territory now.
Okay. And then Mika's just gonna count and say, okay, I'm gonna just do some magics. It's gonna take about 20 minutes. I'm just gonna sit down and start like just focusing. She's gonna cast back water breathing.
Okay.
On,
Very nice.
she's gonna ritually cast it.
Yep. Nice.
And then I believe I can do this where I can also cast Water Walk.
Nice.
Dope.
Because neither of them are
They're not.
concentration.
Nope.
Nice.
But no, Water Walk's only 1 hour, so I'll probably hold off on that until we get closer.
Okay.
But water breathing is 24
24
hours.
hours.
Hell yeah.
Nice. It's an awesome spell.
So, and then be like, okay, no more drowning.
And so you cast it on everybody?
I can cast it on
Everybody except for
10
diamonds.
willing creatures.
10 willing creatures.
Oh, I am
So-
so willing.
I would like to will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reaction
Yeah.
will.
Are there 10? If there are less, if there are more than 10 of us that she wouldn't
There are
cast it on
not.
herself.
You
I
can
am
get it on
full
We
of
got-
will, but
we
not
got
willful.
9. You
All
can
of
cast it
them.
on an extra, like,
Does Raz count? Can you cast on Raz?
seagull
I can cast
or
it on any
something.
willing creature.
That
Yeah,
was
so with
including-
Red, yeah.
including Res.
So even with Res, you have one like spare that you could just throw at a bird if you really want.
Surprise, bird!
The bird like dies out. It's like, wait, I can breathe under here, and it just starts swimming, and like a day later, drowns at the bottom of the lake.
Go back for one of those frogs.
I cast it on a random barrel, just hoping it would Cheshire.
Fantastic.
There you
For some reason, the spell doesn't quite work, and you're not sure why.
That one's definitely Cheshire. It's kind of pink.
I take my shawl back.
Okay. So all of you find your way awake and to your newfound water breathing status. After people pull themselves together, Vol's going to take off unless there's anything else that you guys need to do.
Nope.
Okay.
Just
Set up my block and tackle.
Okay.
Are we all back on our like
fishing.
original ships?
Up to you guys.
yeah. I mean, this way.
No reason not to,
Yes.
It wasn't Time's fault.
It wasn't Time's fault. He's fine.
You begin to get underway.
It wasn't Time's
Are
fault.
you fishing?
Yes.
Cool. Make a sleight of hand check. And add your proficiency if you're proficient with fishing tools.
I am not.
Wait, you just had a long rest. You had the opportunity
Oh,
to become.
you're right.
You becoming a fisher?
I am. All of a sudden, I know how to use a block and tackle. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You wake up after having dreams of like a long ago town, a place that you've never been, but you feel this ancestral memory
Of
calling you
yourself
home.
going,
Nine.
But it's just a dream because the reality is not nearly as nice. You go and as you're about to cast, you pull back and you like feel your cloak pull over and you've hooked yourself. You have to like untangle it and then you get it like stuck in your glove and you have to take your glove off. You end up having to like clip the line and restring the hook and like it's a whole process. And it's taken a while. But eventually you get the hook in the water. And that's when you realize that the water is a little different now. The water, no longer like a deep dark blue, it is bright blue, almost tropical looking, though you cannot see the bottom.
Okay.
For the rest of you, no problem. I forgot, I turned off the water. Whoops.
Is the tropical blue water like noticeable? Because I'm just kind of still like just gazing at the water.
Yeah, when you
Is
wake
it
up,
like
absolutely.
a glow?
As you guys are moving along, you move into this area, and so it gets a little brighter.
Is it
and
like
a
a
little brighter.
bioluminescent
No.
glow?
Make a nature
like
check.
Because like we're keeping eyes out for the thing.
Make a
right?
nature
The
check.
glowy thing.
Can I make a check too?
Yeah, what kind of check?
Nature.
Make a nature check.
Do I get my?
I want to know about the
no.
water.
It's 19 still.
Okay.
14 for me.
Ori, you being from just a little bit west of here and having crossed this once before, have probably crossed a patch of this. Though you had this kind of like deep blue lake before, this is like a cyan blue. And you are realizing that this is a sort of like an algae or a seaweed. You were never really told exactly what it was, but something that seems to be, it feeds off oxygen. And so the water in this area, you look at Valis who's fishing, he's not going to catch anything.
It's like full
there's
of nitrogen or something.
this is like a dead zone in the water, probably. Like very technically, it's something called cyanobacteria, and this is something that really just absorbs the oxygen in the area around it. It's not like actively hunting things, but it absolutely will eat a dead creature like very quickly.
I'm gonna ask Bartholomew.
Yeah.
Just about if he knows anything about the water being this way, and also I want to try to talk to him so I can kind of like get a try to understand him in case he needs to say something to me that I need to understand.
Start working on a code system.
Yeah.
So he says, you,
4 fingers means we're good. He's got stumps.
no, through the gentle waves of soft frost, you gotta watch out for them. Don't do that. The predator sign of bacteria. Touch them. Touch them.
Stop fishing?
No. The predator sign of bacteria. I don't want to do this. And gentle fishing, but don't touch them. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Okay. Don't touch the water, guys.
It's only like 10%, and it goes out and explodes. And I think you don't want to do it because.
Is he speaking thieves' cant?
No. It would be hard to tell if he was, but as far as you can tell, no.
Billy's like,
It's hard to tell if he's speaking common, truthfully.
Wait, don't touch the water? So what happens if we get capsized again?
Are you saying that out loud?
Yeah, if you said to the group not to touch the water.
Gotcha.
He says don't capsize.
wow.
Well done.
Thank you.
If when we get closer, I can do something to help, but it's not forever. It's temporary, but it at least will keep us from completely submerging.
It's wherever this stuff is. It's like an algae or something. I forget what it's called.
Is it toxic? Is it toxic?
It eats away the oxygen in the water and makes it hard to live in. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, does that mean that the ancient arowana can't be?
You can see Vol looks around and he says, it doesn't like this kind of water. And so
Nice.
no. But that means that we need to move through it. We're looking for the arowana.
Oh no, I know. I'm just checking.
Billy's like sprawled out on the deck, just like taking a few extra Z's.
Yeah. No problem.
so if we walk
Don't roll over.
on it, and would our feet burn?
And Minka's just like stuck in like a little bit of like a.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yeah, she's saying that like half to herself to be
Your
like.
feet wouldn't burn. When it touches you, it can draw the oxygen from your skin. You'll suffocate before you burn.
That sounds terrible.
I wouldn't recommend touching it.
Okay.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about the not ancient arowana. That's from Zelda. About the Widowmaker arowana, pushing us over like this
Can't-
did.
Can anything survive in these waters besides?
No, all kinds of stuff. One get rivers, you get one of those, herons.
Okay.
Hemorrhoids?
Herrings?
Huh?
Herring?
Make a perception check.
Sleep.
13.
It sounded like he said heron, like a bird.
Oh.
And then there was other words attached to that, but you missed those.
Knowing that Billy loves to put samples of things in vials, while Alina's gonna she's gonna use her mage hand to take one of Billy's vials out of her bag or whatever and scoop some water and then stopper it.
You take the little vial with your mage hand and you go into the water, and as it touches this cyanobacteria, you see suddenly it's like this big net of tendrils just spreads across, and almost like this instant net of slime that just moves and pulsates and touches, before the whole thing just into the vial and just retracts.
Into the vial?
Yeah.
So now I have a thing of death water.
Yeah.
Neat.
Cyanobacteria.
Stopper it, make sure there's nothing else on it, and put it back in Billy's bag for a little surprise.
Nice. Great surprise.
Yeah.
All of Billy's vials are full.
Oh no, do I have any vials?
So if you took one of Billy's, like you've seen Billy just like dump liquid out and then fill it with something else.
I don't think that Alina would do that though for fear. But okay,
For
so
fear.
instead of doing that for fear, Lisa's gonna be like, "Hey, do you have any vials?"
I got a flask of oil. I don't think I need the oil right now.
I do have an empty flask from one of my oil flasks.
Do you mind?
Don't drop it.
Okay, I catch it, and then I do the thing that I said before.
No problem. You do all that. Same thing. All that happens.
Watching this happen, can I dip one of my arrows in just to see how, just the tip of it?
Yeah.
And see
Same
how it
exact
reacts
thing.
to
You
the...
touch it and it almost looks like it grasps around this narrower shaft, and then as it touches and you see the pulsing slime-like net, it just right back in.
Okay. Cool. So it's not it doesn't oxidize the arrowhead or anything?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Are there birds in the air?
Make a perception check.
Ooh, 6.
6. You look up and then a little fly goes straight into your eye and you're just oh, I have to wink it out. And you don't see any birds. Different flying things. No idea.
I'm just keeping watch
separate
now.
vials of
making,
colored liquid.
You begin to make your way. You watch as this cyanobacteria, every now and then when these gentle waves rock the ships and it kind of hits especially hard, there will be moments where it just, and all these little bits of slime go along the sides of the ship, but it never gets in, it never tries to climb in or move. It's just a very uncomfortable sound each time that it happens. But after about 30 minutes, you begin to see just scrapes of elements. Yeah, there you go. You can see scrapes and elements of clear water coming through, and then little bits of vegetation as there seems to be a little bit more oxygen in the water. And then again, you hit patches of duckweed, and it seems like you are back in the regular water.
As we start to hit clear water, Minka's gonna continuously ritually cast water walking every hour until we know for sure that we're in the
Spend 20 minutes of every hour casting water walking. I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You do so.
I hear birds now.
You do, yeah.
Are there birds?
You look up. Oh, wait, how could you have missed those? There's birds, yeah. You see herons, you see a few seagulls, other larger birds.
I want to cast Speak with an Animal and try to see if it's some birds.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, make a persuasion check.
But do you still have enough?
Unless there's, what are you saying to the birds? They're fly. You have
I will.
You'll have to shout out to
Oh, I
them.
think I will.
Ah.
Because you might need to talk
Hey,
one out.
birds!
Or, use your spell slots to hurt it.
That is a good point. I do have
Go talk to
plenty of spell slots.
Paladins have tons of spells.
Tons.
So many.
Almost as many as warlocks.
Millions.
Hi.
Endless.
We only need one cantrip.
Ooh. I'm good at persuasion. 19.
19. So you look up. What do you say to the birds?
Hey! Birds!
So
Come here!
you see all these tiny little birds flying overhead. There's a big swarm of starlings that just across the sky. But then you see kind of dumpy looking, really struggling to keep its way up in this distance, a pelican. And it just hearing hey birds, it just and just lands hard on your boat. The boat rocks a little bit and it flap up to you, and it just looks and goes, yeah.
You seen a light in the water from a fish?
What's a line?
Right. Light. Like the sun. But in the water.
What's the sun?
I'm pointing at the sun when I say like the sun.
It looks up at the sun. It goes.
Make a nature check.
He just points at the reflection of the sun in the water. It's like, yeah, right there.
Oh no, a 3.
3.
Oh no.
You're looking for the
we
water sun. I seen a water sun. You didn't see a water sun?
Water sun. Yes.
That way. And you guys all just see this pelican just flap out the wing and just seems to point off into the east. No, Valis is speaking totally normal. The pelican speaking like a pelican, but they seem to understand each other. What was that?
The east where we came from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, because. Sorry.
I'm gonna ask, is there a water sun that way? I'm gonna point towards where we're going, towards the barren beach.
You can see like the wings flap back against its body, and it like takes a big step forward, another big step forward, and like peers way out, and it just goes, I reckon. Well, long enough you find a glowing water anywhere.
Okay.
You got fish?
I'm gonna cut off some of my trout
Okay.
and give it some fish.
Okay, so the mouth just gapes open and just eats this fish. And it just kind of looks at you and just says, you're weird. I've seen any like you. What are you looking for?
The water sun.
You don't want a water sun.
The water sun disturbs the lake. We want to calm the lake.
No, you want big fish.
Big fish.
You want big fish.
Oh, where's big fish?
Follow me. And the stork just takes off into the air, and you can see like real low to the water. It flies maybe 10 feet off, and it like will turn and do like a big like land on your boat every now and then. And it says it like breathing heavy. How long is 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
So after like the first 5 minutes, it lands on the boat again, and like deep breaths. It just goes, we just gotta keep going that way. Oh boy, I'll keep going in a second, but you can follow me.
Wait.
And just back to being So you follow this pelican who, even after the spell ends, for what it's worth, every now and then will like flap and like lead for a little bit before coming back and like really looking rough.
If the pelican is keeping up with us,
Yeah.
can that be the 10th target for Water Walk? No, Water Walk is also 10
Yeah.
targets.
So each hour, like as this pelican waits, you hold the last minute of the ritual until the pelican lands and you bang, water walk. And just this pelican gets water walk. It doesn't seem to notice, but it has
Just in
it.
case.
Every time he comes back and he's like taking a breath, I'm just gonna cut off some more fish.
You're the weirdest
Oh,
druid.
fantastic.
You get a water walk.
So yeah, make an animal handling check.
Watching this all happen, is the
Pelican seems important to Valis somehow.
taking us in the direction that we were going anyway, or like in the direction that we're generally heading, or is it kind of like
It's heading north. It's not. It doesn't know directions.
What does a natural 1 get me?
Oh, God.
So a natural 1, you feed this creature, and you imagine this is going to be this creature is going to help you get to where it's bringing you, and it's probably going to leave after that.
Okay.
So you're losing a chance at a little bit of a longer term companion.
Man.
But you follow this creature for just a little bit, and after maybe half an hour or so, the pelican looks you in the eye, it kind of draws itself up, and it just lets out a final and just takes
I
off.
bow as it takes off.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be like, you've got this. And it takes off and away.
Billy just like leans down to Alina and it's like, have we just been following a fucking bird the whole time? Is he bowing to... What are we
He
doing?
seemed like he really knew what he was doing. He was giving
he was
birth
talking to a
fish.
caterpillar the other day?
That is true. He did talk to a cat.
We're over
Dimes
here.
is
You're
gonna-
over there.
Dimes turns to both of you
This is an A and B conversation, so see yourself out.
I saw him talking to the caterpillar.
and just says, yeah, the birds, they're over hops, so they can probably see very well.
Seeds.
Do you think he can just talk
I
to
bet we can go faster.
Okay, you recently met
do weird
Linnea,
things.
who the
A
last time
centaur.
I saw her was a literal horse. I'm just saying.
If I can talk to animals.
Okay, well,
we choose
I guess we'll find out whether the pelican was trustworthy.
I'm very confused. Times like looking, you're talking about a horse, you're talking about a centaur, you're talking about a fish and a stork.
Why
a
wouldn't you want to
Yeah.
talk to a caterpillar?
Well, because I feel like a caterpillar's whole perspective is just so minute.
Right. Right.
What information could it possibly have?
But like,
The very act of speaking with it is probably enough to make its little mind explode.
have you ever been that small though?
No, I've always been me.
But could you imagine how different everything would be if you were that small?
Yeah, like
Or
I
make a
said,
deception check. You were a cow once.
We were all there.
Oh, we got Cowie back.
15.
Someone seems a little suspicious about that statement.
When you're that small, you really only probably have the capacity to think like, I want to eat this grass, and I want to like, I don't know,
Size isn't indicative
metamorphosize. But
of
you
mental
how do you even know what the?
acuity.
Do you think that a caterpillar is gonna know?
No, I've
words
never
like
spoken to a
metamorphosize?
caterpillar.
If you said like, "Hey, how's it going with that cocoon?" They'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They
don't
wouldn't
know
even.
that.
How would they even say what the fuck are you talking about?
They don't.
How do-
He
they
was
don't know
talking
it?
to it though.
How can you-
Vallis, were you were talking to the
How
caterpillar
do you
the
talk
other
to
day?
caterpillars? What do they have? That's weird, man.
Were you talking to that
Your
bird?
boats all like level up now. So you're still sailing, but now you're all like just 3 boats wide.
All right, I forget that some of y'all can't. It's a spell.
Right, but
Right,
But why?
in the metaphysical sense, what kind of capacity does a caterpillar have to hold a conversation with you?
I'm with you, Vallis.
I wasn't looking for a caterpillar. I was looking for like a rodent to help me find the tunnel.
But
I
what
found a caterpillar.
would a rodent
Would that be
tell
better?
In your mind, Alina, Rez just goes, I mean, rodents are pretty good at finding their way through things. This guy might be onto something.
Alina's gonna be like, you guys know that rodents are pretty good at finding their way through things, right?
Right, but
I
how
think
can
you might be
they
onto something.
express
And then I'm
that-
gonna give a little invisible
How can
high
they
five.
express that knowledge
Yeah.
in a way that's comprehensible to us when they don't have the concepts
It's
that we
magic,
would have?
Ori. Things just kind of work sometimes.
They
Does
have
that
their
mean
own
you-
concepts, and you just have to try to find a concept that makes sense to them.
Spoke to a
That sounds like too
centaur.
much effort.
Horse.
It's kind of nice to
a very
see the
noble
vantage point of
centaur.
life from other
And
beings.
centaurs are sentient creatures.
She's a horse.
Different than a caterpillar.
She's definitely a horse.
He's a noble centaur. Let's be on the point.
At this, Vol is kind of like, have you met Linnea Rockron?
She is a noble centaur.
I've heard.
Yes.
You've met the Lord Ranger.
Yes.
I met her when I was a kid.
It was.
She was different.
I
We-
was asleep.
Recently.
We met her. Just the two. She was asleep, and they were asleep. We
He was shopping, I think.
All right, how was the conclave?
You're lucky. That is a centaur on the rise.
She's
Everest will benefit from Linnea's guidance.
very
in
noble.
times to come.
Then I agree. But a caterpillar, that I don't see the value in speaking with a caterpillar. What's it gonna tell you?
Are you saying that you don't see the value in speaking with things that are smaller than us?
No, I'm saying I don't see the value in speaking specifically with a caterpillar whose entire life is based around eating so that it can then metamorphosize into like a moth or a...
Why are you criticizing our new friend?
That caterpillar
I'm not
has told me
criticizing.
more about its life than you have, Ori.
I'm just... and that's probably good.
You and like the two fishers, the one who's like been paying no attention whatsoever, has been just like staring off like into the sun. Suddenly just goes, and he just like looks back out across the water. But that gets everybody's attention.
While they're bickering about whether or not talking to a caterpillar is worthwhile, it's like, so why are we here? What'd the pelican have to say?
The pelican says that there's a big fish this way.
How does it know?
The big fish that disturbs the water.
See,
Okay.
I don't discredit the value of it. I just don't understand how
Are we in the
a gull
direction
has
that Billy saw the
the
big fish?
word fish
No, you're heading away
in
from
its
it.
vocabulary.
See,
I mean, it
see,
literally
I don't
just
know that that was
eats
a
fish.
the spell.
But how does it associate
Billy assumes that
translates-
everything is a
with the word
fish.
It translates it.
Yeah.
Magic.
Billy's also not.
I know,
perfect.
it's
So I know you can't cast magic, but you've had magic cast, like you've had magic done to you, and you know that it can
It's
change
just-
the way that things are perceived, right?
linguistically, it's just very complicated to. It's fine. It's fine. It's hard to.
Maybe if we go to the library, they'll have something on me.
Oh, I love the library.
Billy's gonna kind of look around and try to see
Even
if
now?
there's a big fish in there.
Check. Yeah,
Even
good
now.
idea.
Oh, just the library in general, you mean?
I still retain my love of reading.
Hell yeah.
Vol turns around and says, "You should get a library card, even if you're not going to use it, because the numbers matter." But yeah, so what was that?
library card.
11. With an 11, you look out and you can see
I
like
feel like right now,
seagulls. You
Ori
see
is
maybe
that
that
meme
pelican
with
off
the
in the
fist.
distance, but nothing in terms of fish.
Got one roll per die.
Yeah. So you continue to make your way along, bickering, drawing alongside each other, slowing your pace a little bit as you do, but not noticeably so.
Is it still the cyanobacteria water?
No, you guys are out of that now. So you make your way a little bit further along, and the morning begins to roll on. And it gets a little bit later. Have you guys all eaten? Is there anything that you're doing for food?
I've got my rations.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got some hard
got
package.
Valis is fine. Valis has fish.
Billy's got some.
Oh, well, actually, I could also fish with my I can forage and stuff. And hunt,
Yeah, make a
so
survival check. Now it's a fishing competition.
Foraging? Oh,
It's my background.
No, I know, it's-
Get food for up to, I think, 8 people.
I believe so.
Brenna had that one.
I think it is 8.
Billy slashes the water once, doesn't catch anything, just pulls
Make a survival check.
jerky.
Alina
probably
probably
catch,
just
like,
is not
Just
hard
enough
attack.
for me. Can.
What was yours?
12.
12. You pull on this line and you feel something. And then, Billy, you swipe at the water and you hear a little ding as your line is cut. Oh,
There's
Is this
guys,
how you fish?
it's not a lot, but
You're not supposed to cut the line.
Good berry.
just handfuls of good berries.
Like a good berry.
good. It's it's something.
Appreciate it.
There's 10 of them, so.
No problem.
Billy just pulls some jerky out of her bag.
I will
So-
always go for good berry over.
I will eat the
Yeah, for sure.
biscuit that I had.
Oh, those biscuits are so good.
Oh, the realia of it.
I also prefer cooking Ori, but
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I like cooking too, but you can't really do it out on the open ocean.
There's kind
At
of
least not in the
wood.
ships that you guys have in Everest. But you continue your way on. What?
Where are you from?
That was a lot of venom in that.
Is he
He
a Greek?
turns and he just says, "Like most Dragonborn, I'm from Gath. I'm Ganon. We just have ships of steel, or we did. But
How does that float?
Those points.
well, I don't know, actually. But they did.
It has to do with the amount of liquid versus the mass. That's
But it's
on it.
metal.
It's probably
Displaced
magic.
across. Right, but it's about the surface area thing.
No,
because
it's
there's
gotta
a
be
certain amount
magic,
of
yeah.
pressure over the.
The Skald had some of the greatest ships that ever sailed the oceans.
Magic.
But nobody's seen them around here in a long time. The Pledge has ownership of almost all of them.
It's like
Those words mean nothing to Billy, right?
turn and
He's just gonna be
quietly
like,
munch on
yes.
my biscuit as
Yes.
I gaze over the
You
water.
make
like
your way forward,
science.
and right around noon, you begin to make your way. Where's my map here? You make your way to an area where all of a sudden you are beginning to see shapes. No longer just an endless horizon of blue, but you can see elements of perhaps some kind of coastline off in the very, very far distance. You would imagine that you are making your way close or in the vicinity, and Minka, this probably catches your attention more than anybody's, of Pearl Snap Bay. This is a place where all manner of freshwater oysters live and produce pearls and all kinds of things that a few people would bring with them and claimed had magical properties when they traveled through this region on the way to yours. The water here is pretty dark, and as it is getting shallower, there are areas where there are these kind of long bits of kelp and grass. And so it's very easy to see when there are little bits of color that flash through. Can everybody make a perception check?
I use my attribute help.
Yeah.
Is Rez making one as well?
15.
15.
Perception.
Oof. Lena gets a 5. Rez gets a natural 20.
Okay. Very nice.
I get a
hungry.
natural 1 again.
Rose is looking for chocolate.
11, so I imagine instead of looking out, Minka's looking down to see if she can find any oysters.
You all look across. Who rolled over 20, not counting Rez? What was yours?
25.
25. So you and Rez are the only two that really see this.
My best friend.
Off to the west, there is this like thing. You see like a shape, a little disturbance in the water, and very close to the water's edge, you suddenly see a little bit of a glow, and this is like the very edge of your vision. Still not that close to shore, but like between you and the shore, you see this glow, and it's heading across your path.
Glow, glow.
And as Ori says this out loud in your mind, you just hear, no, he's right, there's something out there.
Can I look?
You kind of like look out, and then suddenly you feel these little fans, and he turns your face, and now you see like this dull purple glow that is moving like widthwise across. And so, like pretty far away, it seems to be going across where you're going to go, and so maybe you can just continue.
Remember, don't look at it.
Okay.
That's
Can you make a, this is going to be, sorry.
We're far enough away, though.
Well, are we though? I feel like Joe is using
Can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
the
Oh no. Tori's the one next to me. You're on the ship with me. Hearing that, like, when you say the light, Minka's gonna reach out and hold onto your arm. And
Oh wait, no, sorry. 10. 7 plus 3 is 10.
Cool. No problem.
Owl's cunning.
Rezgus like turns your head, then you feel the hands let go, and he just says, "So are we gonna go after it or what?"
I think that's the plan.
So I get an advantage.
Right? We're
How
not
far
here
away
to,
is it?
to not
the
go
glow?
after it.
Roughly. Like, can I try to make an estimate?
Close to like 2,000 feet. This is far.
How long would it take for us to intercept it?
If you guys go straight towards it and it doesn't travel away from you, you might be able to catch up to it in about 20 minutes.
What is our plan? Sorry, go ahead.
Nothing. Alina's just like,
Vol like pulls on the rope, and you can feel the air catching to the sail, and the ship begins to accelerate in that direction. The other two ships do as well. Valis, you suddenly notice there's like drool coming down this person's face. They're nervous. They don't have any jaw, so they can't really hold it, but they are like salivating, getting a little anxious.
Hey, Minka,
wanna
you
try to
might want to
calm-
get ready with those rituals again.
I just want to calm him and say, "Don't worry, I've got this."
He's make a persuasion check.
Okay.
You got calm emotions on you?
18. No,
Just naturally charismatic.
just naturally charismatic.
I don't know. I talked about that. Okay. He turns and just like straightens up a little bit, pulls the rope, and he like gets a little faster, catches up.
Just remember, don't look at it.
Yeah, well, it is something in his eyes.
hey, quick question. How are we supposed to kill it if we can't look at it?
You can see Vol kind of turns and goes, I guess that's the way you could do it. We need to destroy the orb first.
Alright, if you can get us a little closer, I might be able to hit it with a few arrows.
We can get you close.
Give me some of that water you've got. I'm gonna put it on my arrows and see if I can.
Oh yeah, I got you some as a gift into Billy's bag. Pull out the thing.
Can I use this to like dip the arrows into and try to coat them with this deoxygenating stuff to shoot them with?
Make a survival check, understanding that the failure for this is exposing yourself to it.
Yeah. Very carefully. I put my gloves on.
Billy's upset.
It's flat, right?
It was his flask. No, this is Alina apologizing to Billy. It was his flask.
That's pretty good.
Just count as a wisdom check.
Use it.
Survival is a wisdom check.
You have advantage because I cast Owl's Grace.
Ooh, okay.
Look at that enhanced ability.
Oh, all right. That's gonna be
So good.
19.
Using stuff. I want to use stuff.
Are you preparing like a bow to shoot at it?
I'm preparing arrows with the
I have a ring that I can go
cyanobacteria.
inside.
So you open up the flask
Which will not help us.
that you lent to Alina to lend to Billy, I guess.
She's
And
mad at me now, so
now
I'm making
it
use
is
of it.
boomeranged its way back to you. And so you take your arrow and you're about to like dip it in, and you realize like it really, there's no way that you can be too careful. So you go to the area where you would lash up the rope to the ship, and you slide the arrow through that so it's hanging over the ship, and then you just pour a little drop on, so even when it just out that slime bit, it doesn't hit anything but the arrow, and slowly it retracts and just seems to cling.
Cool.
And so you have one
Can I do that
cyanobacteria
to?
arrow.
Oh, can I do that to like a few arrows?
I would say probably with that check,
guess with-
you can add 3 of those arrows, but that is all of that material. You can remove it from your inventory.
Bummer.
Sorry.
Look, it'll probably be worth it. Look at how goopy those arrows are. See?
Better not miss.
Is there any other preparations that you guys are making?
Just maintaining concentration on Alice Grace, and I would say before she casts the concentration, she would do one last water walk. So by the time we make it for about 20 minutes, then there'd be about 40 minutes left on this.
Okay.
How does water? Is it just exactly what it sounds like?
You have
Water walk is interesting.
you can walk on top of water or any liquid, but if you get pulled under,
You spoop up to
yeah,
the
you
top.
move. It accelerates you towards the surface at 60 feet per second.
It's like no, it's like if you're like underwater and then like a super big
The
life
emergency
jacket,
air vest.
Yeah, you kinda
pops
get
up and then you're
rocketed
just like
back up.
whoop, back up to the top.
Well, it's important to note when you guys were at the sunken temple, you guys were only 280 feet below like the surface of the water, and so water walking works like that, like probably to about that depth. Once you get past about 500 feet,
launched.
it changes.
Oh well, also like pressure change
Say
from
the bends.
getting the
Yes,
bends.
there are
and
some significant issues with
Yeah.
that. So you want to be careful with water walking when you get real deep.
Yeah.
He's gonna like just casually sharpen her sword, like
So, are there any other weaknesses this thing might have based on lore, history, anything that anyone's heard?
The only weakness that it really has is if a bigger one shows up.
That's not good.
Something. There's always a bigger fish.
But like I said before, take out the globe, and it might retreat.
Well, get me close enough, and I'll do what I can.
I thought we
Wait,
wanted
wait.
to kill it.
We do. But as long as we can get the globe away, I think we have a way to bring it back.
All right. Once we get within like 600, whatever the long range is for my bow, 600 feet, then I'm gonna start setting up to shoot at this thing.
Okay, no problem. So you begin to get closer and closer, and this glow seems to be getting like brighter and brighter. Everybody make perception checks.
Including us.
Yeah. And yes, certainly.
Oh, I already have it. Yeah.
That's a 16
'Cause
for
it's perception,
Alina and a 9 for Rez.
Okay.
28.
12.
24.
Okay. So everybody but Alina and Rez and Valis. There is a point where as you're drawing closer, you're maybe 1,000 feet away, 900 feet, 800 feet, 700 feet, or right when you are feeling that you are within range, it just disappears.
where'd it go?
Eye for detail.
With your eye for detail, who rolled a 28? Or you turn around and about 500 feet beyond the boat, much brighter, you see that bright light begin to appear. Okay.
Shooting my
Because it is 10 o'clock,
cyanobacteria.
this is where we're going to end for the evening. But next week, we will start rolling for initiative for this battle with the Widowmaker Arowana. But thank you for hanging out with us tonight for this session of Adventures in Oberon, Courts of Everest. We had flying ships, we had talking pelicans, all kinds of stuff. We'll be back next week, but if you can't wait that long, on YouTube on Sunday at Oberon RPG, we are re-airing Mosaic Team 5, Session 60 at noon, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You can watch it with me.
Ah, yeah, there you go. You can catch it with Kara. That's a great segment name. But if you can't wait that long or whatever, I guess we'll see you next week. I can't remember what we said anymore. It's late. Bye-bye.
Bye.